over to the beauty of Berlin, and now we get to have you not only on the desk but casting as well. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me here. It's going to be an experience.
Okay, how specific of you? Thank you for that. Appreciate it.
But
all right. Let's save that aside, because actually the comp did catch your eye. So why don't we start there? What about this actually stood out to you?
Yeah, it's reminiscent of like the 2022 Chamber meta. You just have the Sky Breach. You're going to be really explosive with this comp.
Okay, we'll see if that comes into effect. You're just tuning in. Karmine Corp last season, obviously quite underwhelming, finishing plumb last, and they went to market. They finished the season, and they have refreshed near on everything. Obviously, Shin did remain, but they have rebuilt, and they've taken a lot of upcoming talent, a lot of rookie players coming in, and we're seeing a very patient start here.
Yeah, it's going to be a decent trap setup, but just attack, just overwhelming here. It's going to have a free B site, even though they get stalled out here for a little bit.
I want to see how much Martin can handle on his own. He's obviously going to have to call for some support, which will be coming in through Heaven. 2 more players nearby, but they're not overly biting on this. It's slow and cautious from both sides. Giantx taking their time.
Yeah, it looks like Giantx is kind of like they wanted to go B, but then they weren't sure what was going to happen. And now what they're doing is they're letting the round simmer a little bit to see if Karmine Corp is going to actually rotate back to A to soften up that B site for them. But here's the middle take here. Once they get spotted out, that's going to cause a reaction, but I don't know. This is a B stack.
Yeah, the crunch coming through now. Already pressure towards B, but that's being handled quite nicely. Cloud still held back here. The flash to follow. Martin still waiting. Heaven is now starting to be lost as well. The crunch is here, and there's the pressure point. And that is gorgeous from Giantx. Already just clearing through so cleanly. Shin lofts alive, and it's 10 seconds. Finally getting through to the site, but by now, in a post plant, what is he meant to do here?
He's meant to try his best. That's about all he can do at this point.
Oh, bless him. Well, let's see how much damage can be achieved. I loved the tempo from Giantx here. The way they approach the map, that beautiful late split through middle. I'd love to get your thoughts on it once we see this come to conclusion, because, as said, this is a rather dire scenario for Shin, but why not give it a go? See if you can at least get something to the good. 3 potential targets, and he's found the first, but there we go. Fatinho perfectly positioned to catch the follow-up. So, talk me through what we just saw there.
Yeah, so basically Giantx, they wanted to do an explosive B play, but once they saw that one-way smoke up, they're like, you know what, maybe we should just change what we're doing here, change our approach. So the first thing they did was, okay, we wait out the smoke. We don't want to force anything. Once they waited out the smoke, cool, we can take B main now. Wait, there's an open flash. Okay, let's chill here. Surely these guys are going to stack, so what we should do is, instead of just going through B main here, we're going to actually go and split through middle. Split, you get it?
Yeah, got it, that was really good. Well done.
So once they, I love how they took their time with that though, because they didn't force anything that they weren't ready to take.
Yeah, and speaking of forcing nothing, I mean, it's a bare bones comeback in here for the round 2 for Karmine Corp as well, working just purely with the classics as it stands. But beyond that, we have to see if Giantx can keep this clean. I love the patient approach in the first. It hopefully bleeds through to the rest of the game, where we see that very diligent, heads-up work, very cautious, not running into any stacks. And I want to see how they feel this out, because I feel like, especially in a round like this, you can't leave it so late. You kind of lose some of those protocols. It could get a little bit dicey, but in Karmine Corp, they've gone for the stack here. That flash doesn't reveal that much, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I like what both teams are doing here. Karmine Corp obviously doing a stack. They're not going to win if they do a spread default here, but GX is doing a great job of kind of prodding and figuring out what's going on, not running into any traps right now, using their utility really well to find out what's going on. They have info at B, they have a little bit of info at market, but now it's going to be the group into B.
I do like this little walk middle though, and I think it's just a misread. Yeah, I think Karmine Corp have gambled and lost, which is, I mean, it's how this round goes. You're hoping that you might get a little bit of a bonus when you go towards, stacking a site. It is just how it goes in that regard. So again, if you're Giantx, you can see how methodically they are clearing. They are petrified there is something lingering around, but they've been very, very clear-cut. Great little in-game leadership, if anything, to be so diligent in this clear.
I think that flash getting pinged to the Yoru at B is maybe telling them, like, hey, they know we're at B, they saw us at middle, let's just do this re-clear middle together. Oh, they're not here, let's just go stack A because they saw us at B. Maybe they actually go back to A, but it was a bad read, unlucky. What are you going to do about it? You kind of GG go next, because it's an eco round at the end of the day, and all they're going to do is try to not to feed any ultimate orbs over to Giantx, because if they do that, Reach getting close to the ulti, that's going to be painful going into like a round 3 type of situation if he's able to get any kills or the spike plant.
Well, let's see if he gets that chance here. Not much to lose and all to gain, so has a little bit of a look. There's the swing. Wait, that was a ball.
He should go for it. Yeah, there he goes.
Yeah, lovely.
Yep.
And that's nice. So you're going to have Fatinho picking up 2 there, Cloud as well. And I think they've recovered anything that was potentially lost.
Yeah, it's going to be really good going into this bonus round here for Giantx because you've got the breach ult, you've got options. And not only do you have options, but now Karmine Corp has to think about, is it going to be like an explosive play? It's going to be a bonus. Like, do we have to prepare for this like really fast play, or are we going to like think about playing a retake, or what's going to happen here? How are they going to beat out or manage that breach ulti?
And especially when you consider the tempo that's been set in these first 2 rounds has been extremely patient, very slow, down to the last kind of 30 seconds almost. So if they do switch that tempo, shift it up a gear, that could be incredibly hard to handle. So we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, it's kind of Giantx's choice to see how they approach this one. I doubt Karmine Corp's going to be super proactive, but they do have a triddle. 3 men in middle. And I'm just waiting to see if they actually decide to do anything with it, or if they're just going to show a little bit of presence and peel away.
Yeah, it looked like Yoru was there in a really peculiar position, but he's just killed off to A site.
He's gotten a fair amount of room here. Now he's being checked on. There are 2 players on the other side of this, but it is Nuki, and he can do nothing this round, actually. Shin's got him dead to rights, but does that give away the game at all? You can already see Karmine Corp looking a little flustered in this one. Trying to dash across. Vitinho going to end up getting caught in the end, but a 4-3 as Cloud, Hoodie, and Redgar looking to try and maybe filter through middle as they have finally built a little bit of space. Which side do they choose? I mean, it's 2 either side. They get the bonus to be able to sit on both sides here.
Yeah, they can definitely prod a little bit more through B Heaven, see what they can get, see if they can pressure out the defenders here. But here the gem spot sees them. Magnum knowing that the B Heaven player was there.
Do they pull a third across? I'm waiting to see if we see maybe Martin drift a little closer.
30 seconds
or does he
left.
still commit? Because obviously there is that chance they just dash straight through the vents and go straight through, so.
This is a really good reaction. So they're actually going to group up at 2B main because they got spotted at B Heaven. Right now, Karmine Corp, they can't really play in the site because they can get crunched from 2 different angles. So right now, they're regrouping to B. They're going to have a free site. It's going to be a 3 versus 4 retake, and the breach ulti is in play.
10 seconds
Yeah, 10
left.
seconds, so you've got to be a little bit careful with your timing here, but it shouldn't be a bigger problem because of how passively Karmine Corp is sitting to play safe. So the plant's going to come in.
Want to get aggressive here and spawn after?
I'm looking.
With a breach ult?
I'm looking at Hoodie right now. Does he get played in off the back of this? Cloud's coming around. I think they're considering something, but it is
too close.
It's mostly through heaven. You've already got 3 players going back this way. This is going to get rather dicey, actually, for Giantx. Now trying to deal with those lesser numbers, trying to go for the fight towards CT. Karmine Corp needs to get a move on. Tomasi deals with 1, but the trade's there. Cloud comes back, looks for the follow-up, doesn't see anyone drop from heaven. Gorgeous from Redgar as well, denying the drop down for Martin. 2v2, even footing. Redgar gets the attention, waits for Cloud on support. Maybe he doesn't need it. Redgar with it all to do now. 1v1, and the diffuser started. Magnum, he does come off it. His nerves getting the better in there. He didn't want to take it too far, but Redgar, exceptional work at the end.
That was really well played by Giantx there, just making the decision to go 2 people back into B main, showing themselves at B Heaven first, making Karmine Corp really scared to do anything. And I think the biggest part of that round was that Karmine Corp had the advantage. They had the 4 versus 3, but they gave way too much space. They gave too much space, and that allowed Giantx to be able to reposition around, get the spike planted, and get aggressive into CT spawn before anything happened. And they can't let their foot off the gas if they want to be able to hold control over the map or the rounds or the game.
Yeah, and I guess if we do talk bigger picture, obviously if we're talking through expectations, we know the talent on this Karmine Corp roster is exceptional. We know these are the kind of hot prospects, or at least a couple of their names have been thrown around as that next generation coming up that everyone was looking at, eyeing up. But for Giantx as well, they've maintained a core of very talented players and got, obviously Redgar now coming in. So you're seeing a really nice combination. They have probably, I'd say, the head start coming into this in this matchup in the very least. So good to see them playing very well here, already seeing kind of the fundamentals coming through. So what we've got coming out this round again is a Bulldog and Sheriff, so Karmine Corp having to suffer through this, but already a connection, taking Nuki away from that extremity.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Karmine Corp actually gains momentum and confidence throughout this half, because right now it looks like they're a little shaky. They're not playing like they're super confident at the moment, right? Like, we have them in an advantageous situation and they have skilled players, but they need to leverage it. They need to feel like a little bit more free-flowy about, hey, I'm just going to go and take these fights, because right now it's like they're playing too safe and too textbook. We need to see them get loosey-goosey.
30 seconds left.
But again, this could be a little bit of a product as well of that inexperienced team. These are a lot of new players, younger players coming in, and need to get their footing underneath them, know when to play, to that proactive extent. And Martin already showing a little hint of that over there, managing to take down Nuki. But again, patience pays. Giantx slowly, but now on the receiving end, but they get the spike down.
Oh, wow.
That was big from Eric to at least find Cloud, but they do have the time on their side, but it is a 3v5 and the retake begins. Hoodie's got to be careful, he cannot get caught out alone here. Dips back but far from safety and the pressure starts to mount. Fatinho in trouble, has to fall away. Hoodie tethered and held for a moment. They still have the rifles, keep in mind. They have the heavier firepower, but maybe it won't matter. Already defuse going to be started. Hoodie denied vision for a couple more seconds. That's going to drop, the defuse ain't stopping. Redgar, can he clutch again? Not this time. Karmine Corp fight back.
That is absolutely absurd. Giantx actually griefing that round away. They were in a man disadvantage and they stick the plant. It's not even like they have control over ramp or heaven. They're trying to plant for a position that they don't even have control over. They're playing in the site. Why not plant passive? Why not plant for the site? And not only that, why are you going to force the plant when you know that you're going to die in the paint shells? Like, you need to get out of that position. You need to just say, you know what? Unlucky, I'm going to move on, I'm going to plant to this different position, and then at least you have a chance to stabilize. Really well played from Karmine Corp, step by step.
So I see maybe a little, this could be a huge confidence booster for them as well. Being able to turn that round, especially considering the purchase they had, could be a massive momentum swing. We'll see if that continues to affect it, however, because there is still a purchase here for Giantx, so you're not coming in with nothing. Fatinho set on the ult as well.
Yep.
Redgar's got his a little less to note, but still certainly in place. And the pace change looking quite astounding already. Fatinho with the first, near on free. Magnum gone, but already you can see the support system there. Fatinho, what a follow-up for him. The rate's gone down and they're down to 3. This is a problem for Karmine Corp. They're losing numbers, trying to get proactive, trying to be aggressive, and they're being dealt with. Fatinho, what a round!
What a great round from Giantx. Turning it around from the previous round, you know, kind of like trolling the post-play situation a little bit, going down into a 3 versus 5. But here they're thinking, you know what, let's do a tempo change. We've been going slow all game. Now we got the Raze rocket, we have a Sheriff on the Raze player, so it's not like they have like the gun, you know, differential.
Yep.
So they go, they group up, they get B main, boom, let's go. Breach stun, Breach flash, Raze rocket out, let's just go and take this. They got the entry on the Viper, and the rest was just easy peasy.
Superheads were up work. I was a little, I say worried, but I was considering if maybe Karmine Corp could use that as that confidence booster, but instantly ripped away. And here again, look at the pace change. Instantly, Giantx shifting away from that high tempo, sitting way more passive, maybe expecting Karmine Corp to try and get in their face on this lesser purchase. So we'll see if that actually pays dividends.
And one of the things to point out actually is that we see Karmine Corp, they only had Astra ulti and Omen ulti last round, but now they also have Fade and Raze ulti. But they can't really use them on this round because they have 3 players with classics or, you know, whatever they're working with.
Yeah.
And it's going to be like really spooky. Do you use the ultis to win this round? You just got them at the end of the last round. So it's a really bad situation to be in because you really want to be able to use these ultis with guns on this round, and losing another round without being able to use them, you might not get ultis again this half.
Yeah. See if that frustration actually comes through. Again, we're seeing that kind of mid-crunch this time with a lot more weight behind it, leaving Nuki still towards that A side, but look at the TP, it's been committed to as well, straight towards that CT side, up through the vents though. A little bit of a stall here. This isn't what they wanted. They're going to be denied this space, and there is time for rotations. Here comes the cavalry. Magnum straight in there, 1-for-1. Didn't get much more until then.
Down mid.
Left in tatters in the
left.
vents. It's down to 2 players. Narrate, though, does at least have the rifle, and the position could be paramount here. Nuki wants to try and dig him out of it. The spike is down there. They have to go for this one. He dives in. There's no chance of a trade. Isolated and alone, it's Redgar in a 1v2. Not gonna happen. Anything Fatinho can do, I can do better. Narrate turning this around.
And another thrifty for KC. The 2 rounds that they have are off the back of Narrate, actually. It's off the back of a thrifty and on the back of Narrate. And I think it's going to be really good. If he's able to keep this momentum up, it's going to be really good for him because he is a very skilled individual player. So if he's able to get confidence in the, you know, debut match here, it's going to be really good for them because he's not going to be afraid to take different peaks. And it's a really good job of him just being not afraid to just really good utility usage. Really good idea to use the ulti there. It's not like someone's telling him to do it. So good decision making.
Feeling the game out a little bit more. Starting to see the personality of these players come through, hopefully. And now Magnum going to be put to test early. Already taking a massively different approach here, Giantx. Very straightforward, straight through towards heaven, finding a gap and exploiting it somewhat. Maybe Nuki noting this in the last couple of rounds, but Karmine Corp will need to respond here.
Lose a bad round and then speed up the next.
The classic go of things. But again, the ults are starting to come through. Nuki going to catch one, though. That's big information on both sides. But speaking of information, Martin's going to see it all. Does he commit? It looks like he does! Oh my god! We wanted individual impact. We might have just had it. Nookie, what can you do about this one? Sit back and watch, if anything. He's a mile away. What a round for Karmine Corp.
Another individual just taking matters into their own hands. That was a huge, massive play. Really smart play to get in the back lines there and line them all up. I'm actually shocked that Giantx actually tried to plant there. With that backstep from Nookie, he got the Cypher ulti off. They were going to get the info, but they're just
that was so
getting into that little pocket of the Astral Wall. They didn't hear the TP disengage because of it. That was really well played. I wonder if that was like a pre-planned thing.
It kind of felt like it, right? That pocket was so well placed. We're seeing these little trap plays coming out from KC. That is sick. And obviously, even with Michael not being here, there will be a technical pause.
Yeah.
So,
well,
get to lean on all those years of broadcast.
It's you, isn't it?
No, all right. I didn't need you to do this today. We were having a perfectly nice time. But, do you know what? I think kind of recapping the last couple of rounds, yeah, it did feel individual in a couple of these, but in the nicest way, I'm down for it. It felt like it was kind of, yes, individual, but built off maybe a little pocket play, as said, with that pocket left on site, maybe from the divide coming in. If this is what Karmine Corp's kind of building, what they're starting to look like, I'm excited to see what they look like further down the line, right? These younger players starting to feel more confident, more comfortable on the stages, and the potential they're already showing. I mean, honestly, Martin's shots then were pretty nice. Like, I mean, the play itself was fine. It was, you know, well set up, but I mean, the man controlled it like a champion. So I'm quite impressed with this roster.
It's feeling a little deja vu to the last match we watched. So we had the teams going up against each other. We had Foot starting out very similar to how Giantx is. You know, win the pistol, win round 2, convert the bonus round, and everything's looking really good for them. And then it's like, you know, Team Heretics, they're looking not too great, not too confident, but then they get their first round win, 5 rounds in, and then slowly but surely they gain more and more confidence as their game progresses, and then they start picking up more and more rounds. And it looks like very similar here, where it's just like individuals are kind of winning rounds, it's off the back of thrifties, and then suddenly we're going to see Giantx probably being like, oh my god, getting in their own heads a little bit, thinking, we should have had this round, we should have had that round, what's going on? Oh man, I can't believe this happened, why wasn't anyone watching this? Why are you rushing this? And then they might start tilting, and Karmine Corp might be able to get more rounds off the back of that. So you gotta like be able to, well, if this is gonna help them, just be able to breathe, reset mentally, not let like these bad round losses affect them. Because at the end of the day, 2 thrifties within the first like 7 rounds, that's kind of tough.
Yeah.
And yeah, you need to be able to just bounce back from that for sure.
So if you were curious, I think it was actually meant to be a tactical timeout rather than a technical. And here we are. So going back into it, it's like Karmine Corp actually pumping the brakes. Potentially, I'm not trusting anything, if I'm honest. I don't know if it is actually their timeout. I wouldn't be surprised if it was Giantx at this point.
It could have been attack into attack.
It could be.
Because you're not allowed to talk. Well, most people aren't allowed to.
Yeah, no, I am interested because when I was watching the last game, you did see that kind of pressure mounting on the expectations, right? Like Foot, last season, very solid team, went incredibly deep, at an international event, looked very good, had either it depends how you look at it, either a sideways or potentially a straight upgrade in one or 2 of the players. So, and then seeing them lose as they did, obviously you think of expectations. Heretics had near on none on them, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
A lot of us would have said, we just don't know. We don't know what this roster's going to look like. It was put together, or was seen last minute, potentially. Whereas here, yes, Karmine Corp a little earlier to work with building a roster, but very unknown quantities in some of these players. High potential, limited exposure towards stage environments and everything else, and how will they gel as a roster? How will they fare against arguably one of the more solid teams left? Obviously, the likes of Fnatic still out there. They're, the exception to the rule, but keeping as many of the players as Giants did into this roster, and then having Red Guy, you could argue, is again sideways, if not straight upgrade, depending on how you look at it. You'd give this on paper to Giantx. So it is quite interesting to see those potential elements of maybe not upsets. I don't want to call it an upset because we just don't know much. But if you're looking purely statistically, right, that idea of like, okay, pre-made roster that's been around, experience under the belt, great players too. I mean, Giantx are no slouches. You saw what Fatinho just did as well. But to already see the cracks being exploited a little bit, or at least the potential being shown from Karmine Corp, is a fantastic look.
Yeah, and honestly, like when you're playing a game like Valorant, where there's so much that you can do in terms of utility synergy, with ultimates coming online in specific rounds, with just like the ability to synergize certain comps together. And then we also see Hoodie, he's on the Sky. Sky just went through a nerf. Maybe that affected their game plan a tiny little bit. So every little inch matters a lot right now, and that's what we're seeing.
Well, let's see if they can make anything out of this one. We are just coming out of the timeout now. Operator is in hand and online, so that's going to be another new element to look at, is how well does Martin sit with this. He is going to be up against a interesting purchase, a bit of, you know, a jumble sale, really. One rifle, yes, for Nuki, but the rest, I mean, I think it's a Stinger and Sheriff. So only one orb away for Fatinho as well to potentially get his ult there. Cloud very close by, Hoodie as well. So a couple of ults right on that verge. Whether or not they get the chance to pick up those ult orbs is yet to be seen. Tomasi already dealing a whole lot of damage. Fatinho down on 1 HP. Martin, well done. Well controlled. Trying to draw out the attention of the next, but doesn't take the bait.
They're going to have to wait around if they want to use these ultis because they're not going to be... It's just, you can't use that the situation. But why is their only main rifle towards A, and why is the main action first towards B? Like, they need to leverage this Vandal way harder than they are. And it looks like there's going to be a regroup towards A right now. They've already thrown the cage at the cross. Can they be ramped? Maybe, maybe not. It's not like there's a Sentinel player right now over on the other side. So there's going to be gaps, and you have to just realize, like, okay, we're playing with a gap. We're going to play the retake. That's fine. We already have the man advantage. Who cares? So it's going to be interesting to see if Nuki is going to get into a position in the post plant where he's going to be able to do something with his teammates nearby, ready to just take advantage of the situation.
Yeah, they've committed the smokes in as well, so now it is time for the plant to come through. And I'm looking at the discipline on the Karmine core side as well. Don't want to give up too much. They still want to maintain this heaven control. It looks like they're trying to vie for that on the other side too, potentially here. Nuki waiting to see that Vandal come into effect. It is the key component for Giantx. It's the main piece of the puzzle for them. Everything else is very, very limited. Fatinho going to put his life on the line by trying to control this CT space. Paranoia comes through. Fantastic, though. Fatinho still alive, and one flies in. They're already on the site itself. Has a little look around and clears it out, but Redguard trying to play hide and seek here. Loses his life, and now it's all on Nuki. What can the one man do? Nothing! Magnum there in the end. This has been Karmine core looking very controlled, actually.
Yeah, this retake looked a lot better than the previous round where we saw at B. They had the 4 versus 3 advantage, and then they gave way too much space. But this time, I don't know if it was like Karmine core, like they did enter together, they were doing it step by step, which was really good. But I don't know about Giantx, how they had one player in spawn, a couple at ramp, but it was all like really disjointed. And again, Nuki has the Vandal. He's not active. He's not participating in the round until it's like a 1 versus 4. All of his team goes out first and dies. He needs to be able to be a part of that. And whether that's a game plan thing or an individual thing, something needs to gel a little bit better.
I've got your trail.
This is huge, Martin. How long do you stand there? Does eventually dip away. Pretty much everything known now. Noting the operator very early on. The Seekers as well going to reveal a whole lot in the pace change. A similar call going to be made here in the very swift plant this time, but still no heaven control. Potentially a late fight. The Karmine core have been up to that challenge every single time and close by. Ult on the other side. Martin's going to see it all as well. Redguard already going to find Magnum though. That is a pick that they've not had previous to now. Already looking to try and overwhelm. What can Martin do here? He's only got so much time to work with. Trying to bait them out. Hoodie already going to punish Narrate, trying to trade off the back of that contact, but it's down to 2. Shin and Martin trying to still work this out. Force forward. Cloud's got him. And Shin, near on irrelevant to that one. That is a much better looking post plant.
And it's just like a pattern from Giantx. Lose a bad round, let's do a rush. Lose a bad round, let's do a rush. So here, maybe we see them doing another, slower approach. Maybe they do something a little bit early to take or establish control. But it's very, I don't know. Yoru up, he had the ulti. They just gave up so much space, and Giantx actually recognized that. Hey, Yoru's offing A. He just keep it away. We're dogging him. We're throwing, birds at him and everything like that. He has to back off. And the cabbages are out. They're throwing everything at him. He has to back out. They didn't even stop to clear the site. They just go straight for the plant.
Yeah, straight on in. Tomasi going to be forced away very early on this round. Already going to be forced to be a little bit more passive here, but again, we've seen these early tests, these early kind of dabbles towards site from Giantx and then not committing behind it. This time it does look a little bit more committed. The deeper flash going to be trying to set up Fatinho here, but he gets hindered. He gets held back. Shin's going to be good for one, but the trades are great. Narrate again, though. This guy is monstrous. So much damage and already looking confident. He gets a catch. Redguard's down, and it's all on Cloud. Yes, masterful in his own right, but down to 46 HP. This is a very tall task. One other small caveat, I guess he has the spike, so he has the chance and a lot of time to play with.
There's really not much he can do. They do have a little bit of money in the bank, so we're probably going to see, if he loses this round, another really fast play next round. Let's just see if the pattern plays out. But honestly, short of winning this round, there's no really plus sides, because he's probably not going to get his ulti again this half, unless he somehow miraculously gets the plant, and gets all 3 enemies here.
Yeah, no small task, right?
No small task.
Get plant and kill them all. Well, he's going to get 1.
Left.
And obviously he doesn't know that he actually has quite a great deal of time to play with, so I wonder how conservatively he's going to play this himself. They were waiting it out. I don't mind that necessarily, because they do still have utility to try and clear some of this, but maybe Cloud getting proactive does give him a chance.
Yeah.
But this is brutal. This has to be so clean from Cloud. He's going to hear the steps. This could be massive. The time is now. He's got 2, and he gets to keep his life. 7 HP. This could be everything. Magnum trying to close down the distance. He's running him down, trying to catch Cloud, who's just evaporated. Magnum breaking hearts here. That could have been huge for Cloud, but still onto the defuse and tying up the scoreline.
Really well played, though, from Cloud. Getting that lineup with the stun was really important there. Honestly, like, Fade had a Prowler, but there's so many places that they have to clear. They're all moving together because they want to make sure that they're close enough to do the trades. But, like, the lineup was right there. It almost happened. Luckily, 7 HP at the end there with the the shorty finished him off.
Okay. It does seem as though you have an actual tactical timeout hitting between these two. And I'm just so happy we're seeing such a game out of these. I was a little bit worried that if Karmine did get off to that poor start, they could have suffered a little bit here. Especially if I'm not mistaken, this was their map choice. Yeah, it was. So I would hate to see them suffering early on. Why must they do this to us?
It's to you. It's not us, it's you.
Absolute pain. But genuinely seeing Karmine kind of stabilize, this is excellent signs. By the point of the mid game, I mean, you look at the way the rounds have gone. It has been near on back-to-back. Yeah, a couple of pace changes worked out for Giantx, but if I'm Giants, I'm a little bit worried. I'm not loving what I'm seeing now. They've hit a bit of a brick wall, and they haven't found a solution yet to what's going on.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they do choose to do here, because if they follow that pattern, it's going to be maybe something that could be abused later on, like a little telt that Redgar has. But we also see that he's got his ulti in play, so there might be a plan behind that. But right now, Karmine Corp is doing such a good job of just making sure that they're playing together, really. Yeah. Like, they're not trying to do too much, so they're not trying to hold both sides. They have a decent spread to get info, but then they're moving around really well. So if they're ahead of the hit, then they try to fight it together, and if they're not ahead of the hit, then they play for the retake, and then they do it step by step. The thing that Giantx needs to do here, if they want to start picking up more rounds on the attack side, because obviously, like, 5 rounds on attack is pretty decent on split, but like, if they can maximize the amount of rounds that they could get, they definitely want to do that. So if they're going to identify, hey, KC is in a retake situation again, hey, let's try to do something where we're getting in their faces again. And they tried that before on, like, up a ramp, trying to get into elevator, but that's where Nere got the rocket kill, right? So they need to do something where they don't overextend.
Okay,
it's
so just
a fine
balance,
line.
right?
It's a very fine line. It's a tightrope that you gotta walk. You have to get a little bit active, but not too active.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. We'll see if that is what they dabble with. I am kind of curious. I do believe this is actually just to balance out what happened earlier, so don't worry too much. This isn't actually a technical timeout, I believe. Do you know what? I shouldn't describe these things, because it's only going to just make them happen more. Ult-wise as well, just kind of having a little look through this. Magnum very close by to his. The rest pretty far away. I mean, yes, Tomasi's there, but it's Omen. On the other side for Giantx, you do still have Redgar with his. I mean, he has used it already, I think, once this game at some point, and it was actually relatively effective. You do have Cloud not a million miles away, and Fatinho quite close to his too. So a couple of ults, not impossible to get online, but, you know, still not quite comfortably into the pocket. And it looks like, yes, they are just mirroring what happened earlier. So Giantx going to have a timeout to talk things through, have a little chat, maybe try and identify what you've already noted here. But again, it's a very different scenario, and we can sit here and obviously see the big picture in the game. I wonder how much they've been able to extrapolate and identify the issues that they could have to, as I said, min-max going into that second half that really 5 rounds isn't unworkable. But I think against a team as volatile as KC, I wouldn't like to rest on my laurels thinking, hey, 5's fine. You're always going to want to try and get the maximum available, right?
Yeah, I think that, though, they have a pretty decent CT-sided, or defense-sided composition here.
I call it CT, don't worry.
Yeah, you do? Okay, my bad. Okay, thank you. Because they can...
Say it with confidence, Josh.
They have the traps, right? They have the Cypher traps and the camera, and then they have the breach behind it, and then Raze can definitely do some plays behind that, or Raze can be off with an operator, and then they can have the Omen doing stuff with it, with the Omen flash. So they have options, but fast play here.
Yeah.
Like I said,
love a bit of it,
By the
don't
way.
they? Yeah, may have called that one, but Vitinho taking a massive amount of space away, right? Like, this is quite suffocating for KC. They're going to be feeling this pressure to no end. Now, Vitinho does have to settle down a little bit here. There was that paint shell that came in, did take the space back, and taking space back on the other side on the extremity. Having a little bit of a glimpse there was Martin, checking if he spotted anyone B main, excuse me. He didn't actually see anyone, but the players are there. And with his having control, it's still highly indicative. They are coming this way, and they are so close by. Narrate has been honestly filthy to watch. This guy is nasty, and Martin has spotted Vitinho. That's the tip of the spear blunted. Now, yes, Redguard got a slip ahead, but Narrate, oh, this guy, he's so sick. I'm going to become quite the fan of watching him, but they're not out of the woods yet. Cloud's still living, and he almost made something like this work before, but this is a very tough scenario. Do not give him 1v1s, please. This guy will take them every day of the week. A tap on the spike to draw the attention, but where does he go with this? Still got options, but less time this time around, and obviously
30 seconds
CT
left.
side much closer by. Looks like he wants to commit to this
The
one
double
now.
push.
Yeah, and the double swing. Perfectly handled. Like to see it. Heads up work. But I did like the pace change, but we've become accustomed to it now.
Yeah, that play actually looked really good for Giantx. They took really fast control over B Heaven, and then they completely pumped the brakes. And it made Karmine Corp think, what is going on? Then the Omen ulti comes, he's going for info at B site, but Karmine Corp, they don't know what's happening. Wait, let's push the B main. They're not here. What's going on? Is it a fake to go A? We don't know what's going on. Maybe the Omen ulti was a fake at B so that they could do an A type. And we see 3 players from Karmine Corp just chilling at A. And then GX, they just wait too long. If Giantx actually went a little bit more explosively through B Heaven after that had all happened and Yoru flashed through B main, they could have had a chance, but they waited too long.
Just letting it slip between the fingertips there, but again, looks like Vitinho's enjoying his time in middle. He's going to be following that again. Tomasi already going to be noting it, so you're going to see a little bit of information back and forth between these two. Once again, it's Nuki with that rifle. We didn't really see it come into effect last time around. It kind of fell by the wayside. We're hoping to see a little bit more here. Pop flash and the follow-up, but it got turned by Martin, but it gets taken down. That's a rifle recovered, and Heaven once again open. Rotations are coming in, though. This time, 2 players straight up towards Heaven, just around the corner. Maybe the third going CT. And actually, hold on.
Cypher's in A?
Yeah, fantastic spot there. Nuki has taken the space. We wanted to see that rifle come into effect. Well, he's done it himself. All of that space is theirs, but can they make the clean escape?
Good reclear from Karmine Corp. All 4 together.
Oh my, wait. But they've come back up. What is going on there? The spike just almost got dropped in the worst position possible. Back on the hunt. What is going? Yeah, they can't hear a thing that's going through there. But Nuki is just stood there like, guys, I got you the site. Can you please get over here? Get that spike down, Redguard! Filthy shot on Narrate. Okay. Yeah, Shin's like, I don't know what's happened, boys. We were looking pretty solid in this one. Hot on the heels.
Predictions are out for this game.
Yeah, it's all up in the air. We've had a couple of close calls with these sort of rounds. Hoodie and Redguard unable to recover any of the rifles that were dropped, so they are still on the sheriffs here. Redguard with utility as well. Hoodie, similar scenario. Shin closing in. Going to be noted here and dealt with. Nuki, comfortable there. And the scoreline tied up 6 apiece.
I actually really like that approach from Giantx. I wish I saw that earlier from them in the half. Okay. We saw 2 different rounds where Nuki had one round, his team's on eco, but he is the Vandal. He's not active at all. He's like doing laps back and forth in attacker spawn. Don't know what he's doing. And there's another round, it was one of the first like 4 rounds, maybe it was like round 3 or something, where he's actually moving up a ramp and taking a duel in Heaven before his team's actually done anything, found info about, you know, what the defender setup is. Are they playing for mid? Are they playing for B? What's going on? And Nuki's just up in A. He needs to wait for his team to take contact. But this round, we see them moving up B, or through middle, into B Heaven, getting the info, getting the space, pulling the reaction, pulling the rotations, and then Nuki's able to walk into free A site, call all of his team back. Then there's some shenanigans happening over at vents, ropes. What's going on there? But yeah, we're going into the second half.
Yeah, nice to see it finally kind of clicking, right? All those things that were going slightly wrong, all those timings slightly off, and seeing it, you know, what it's meant to look like in that final go of things. But tied up 6 apiece, we switch things around. Karmine will now get their opportunity to go on the attacking side, and of course that means that Giantx on the defending side here. So we get to see the opportunities for both of these teams, how it plays out. Do we see that same sort of tempo approach from Karmine Corp? Do they have their own look of things to go through? Plenty of unanswered questions here.
Very interesting setup. Like, B is wide open. Breach was ready for a mid trap, but nothing came mid. He's still ready. He still has that stun out. Ray's got the A info.
Yeah, this is a little bizarre, isn't it?
Well, Breach has full abilities right now. So what they're going to do is, if it is a B hit, he's got his stun, he's got 2 flashes and aftershock. He can clear out so many different areas. He's not. That's their game plan right now. Is come into mid, come into A, we win. Go into B, we have to play the retake. It's unlucky. You have to take a risk though on pistol because you can't do a spread default. You're just going to lose by the numbers advantage.
Yeah, they're going to have a boatload of info, but the site is going to be lost here. This is going to be a plant, but the retake is going to be nasty because they have that wrap. So now look at the recheck. Great shot from Redguard, but Shin in support deals with the follow-up. That's Cloud down, and that's one of those pressure points handled. Now Fatinho, Nuki, and Hoodie, though, have their chance to try and disrupt here. Karmine Corp do have the numbers. They do have the time on their side. Narrate just swings it out perfectly. And it's all of Fatinho. Finds 2, but no more to be found.
Really good read from Karmine Corp there. As soon as they got into B and they realized, hey, what's going on? This is free. Instantly they peel back. They go into B main, and they're thinking, okay, there's no way. Maybe there's a potential that it's like a 5-man retake flood through heaven or spawn, but there's a chance that there is. We got contested at middle earlier. Is there a flank coming on? Let's go clear it, make sure it's clear, and if it is clear, we can go in for a reflank. We've planted in the position where we can defend it from heaven if we do a late around the world flank. So moving together there after they realized that the site was free was such good decision making.
Hearing that sentence after the last season is just, it's near on musical at that point. It's lovely to hear. And it looks like Karmine Corp, again, going to be very patient in this, waiting to see if there is any mischief to be managed by Giantx, who, again, maybe just looking for their opportunities. Redguard waiting patiently, see if he gets a prize, probably unlikely. But beyond that, this is just going to be a very passive start.
Just praying. Just, please do it. Give it to me.
Dare you. Not going to happen.
Very slow approach from KC.
And I'm quite happy to see that, honestly. I'm good to see it. Again, I'm just haunted by last season, right? Like, I think a lot of us who actively watched EMEA were, you know, left in tatters by the end of it. But seeing these sort of approaches, love it already. Love what we're seeing from this side. And putting Giantx through the absolute ringer here, but they still need to stick the landing. There is a stack in play, and they haven't really dismantled much of it. Information aplenty, yes, but they're just being drawn in. This is a 5-man stack here. Giantx have the players. Redguard has gone down. Do they follow through on this? 30 seconds, they're going to run out of options to rotate. They are going to have to commit to this, and it can get dicey. Are any of them going to make this one problematic? Martine! Fantastic little swing from that, but there's Cloud, and now the problem started out. Cloud's got 2. Narrate's still standing. He's going to drop down to Nuki, and now it's Cloud in a 1v2. Unable to get any of these weapons, but he does have a little bit of kit to play with. But look at the time, 13 seconds. They're under the gun, and they're under pressure. What?
Wow.
A moment for Cloud almost to punish that late round timer that was ticking away from Karmine Corp.
One little thing different could have been the difference maker there. A shorty in the hands of the player up close at B main. If that player's not at B main, if he's sidewalking, they swing together. Any little thing could have amounted into just, oh man, such a bad round for Karmine Corp. I'm surprised that with Raze getting all the way up to vents to A heaven, seeing absolutely nothing, that they still decide to go B there instead of prodding a little bit more. They're funneled into that trap setup.
I just hear Sideshow screaming melons. You know what I mean? Like, he's just absolutely wailing, seeing any low timer and Karmine Corp. But it's all good. They weather the storm. All right, it doesn't matter how they get there, they got there. All right, we move on.
Around's around.
I feel like you've said that a couple of times.
I say that a lot of the time.
But now we look and see what they can achieve with missing quite a couple of pieces, right? Obviously, they've got 3 ghosts here, but the 2 vandals. Let's see, because this is already pacey, and they've got a nice little plan in motion. Narrate closing the gap down. There's 2 players at the back of this site, though. They don't know about Cloud particularly, but now they do. Nuki and Cloud, perfect unison. Just send them away. That
was such a good defensive smoke in the middle of sight as well from Redguard, just placing that in between the screen.
Oh, that's what you're talking about on Inferno, right? When you're going up banana, you put the smoke down. And,
yeah, you got to do the opposite. There's no jet here to updraft over.
True,
if the updraft came over the wall, then they would have done the openings that they needed. But great defensive positions from Giantx. They realized, hey, you know what? We did our job. We stalled them out at main. We're waiting for the rotation. Boom, defensive smoke comes in. Let's play a setup where we can just pivot off of each other. Cloud gets the first 2, and then the rest of the team is able to flood in and just deal with Karmine Corp before Karmine Corp can stabilize on the site.
Yeah. Now, any early ults coming into effect? I think it's been quite a well spread out affair. No singular. I mean, Cloud's actually quite close by, as is Fatinho, which are the 2, I guess, power players. Nuki.
Okay.
Drifting out of A main. A little surprised, considering that's obviously his role on the other side. Normally, he's incredibly heads up with his work, but Yeah, caught off guard there. And that's a big loss early on. That's still above a minute.
I don't mind that play in general if you have like a big round lead, but to be down and do that, that's a little bit risky to do it without more information about what's going on. If he saw a bunch more things happening on the map, like he saw more Fade utility being used, if he saw, well, they saw the Yoru at B, but maybe that was like too hard for a read. I don't know what that was.
Well, it's given them a chance. Look at what Karmine Corp has done with it. It's, you know, both hands, they are gripping onto this. They saw the opportunity, Nookie gone down, fantastic. A site is open, and the double stack here as well is going to be hard to break. Uncomfortable for Cloud. Yes, does have kit to play with, but no first steps here. They've kind of not taken towards having control. They've taken what's been given to them, which was that opportunity by Nookie. But here comes the first couple of steps of the double stack in play. Martin, the one to claim it, and the follow-up as well. Stunning work from Karmine Corp, handing the round basically on a platter to themselves here. That double stack, that hold on ramp was just stunning.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with Karmine Corp's post-plant situations, just like the positioning that they've had in these setups where they're playing high-low off of each other. They have the triangle setups where they're able to pivot off of each other. They've done a really good job of that, and it's nice to see how they're playing together and not just like, we talked about their individuals, how skilled they are individually, but now we're seeing cohesion on top of that. We're seeing them play off of each other, with each other. And that's going to be the difference between just like a team that's skilled and a team that's like a good team together. So the makings of something really nice to see.
Yeah, and again, the coaching staff at the back there, big smiles, right? Like, you're seeing this kind of go well for them. This is, I feel like for Karmine Corp, this is a big sink or swim sort of season. And if this is the start they're going to begin with, again, you'd say Giantx in last season with a very similar roster were kind of, not, mid-pack sounds unfair. They were just under the cusp of the top tier teams, right? They were just kind of that fourth place position. They've had a very good run in the past with this sort of team. Seeing already Karmine Corp putting up these numbers is exceptional. Anyway, digress as we look into this round already. Vitinho taking boatloads of space, and he wasn't alone.
Yeah, all of mid was taken from the defenders here, so they know something's up. They got info early at the round at B. They think it's maybe a B play again. And Nookie's afraid to push. He got punished last round, so A site is wide open for the taking.
Oh, this is, yeah, you're loving this one. Martin does have to dip away eventually to send that out, but he's cleared so much space, right? Like the information game, they are winning it. Karmine Corp have all of the info they need. You noted it, we've just seen it, the ult comes through, and they're gonna need to start making their way in, but already they're being denied, the space is being held back. That pillar is now just littered with bodies, the flash is fantastic!
Oh, wow.
And so is Magnum and Martin's damage. This is a masterclass from Karmine Corp, and I did not expect to be saying that.
Everything they're doing is perfect. Like, they have good reads, they have good calls, they have good individuals hitting their shots, they have good ability usage, they have good ability synergy. Everything they're doing is right now. And after the first, like, 3 or 4 rounds, you're like, oh, okay, well, like, what's going to happen? They're looking a little shaky. This 4-on-3 retake, what's going on there? But they look like a completely different team. They look like an actual team right now. Like a really good, well-cohesive, well-gelled team.
And a lot of credit in my mind as well will go to the coaching staff in that regard, that you've been, given the opportunity to work with some very young players. You've got a lot of expectations in front of you as well, especially the fans, the last season, a lot of things what didn't go their way. To come out, look this good, I'm putting a lot towards the coaches in that regard.
It's going to be, I don't know if they're going to use their ultis here. They do have Fade ult, they do have Rocket.
Do you save it? Do you need it?
Probably save it unless you need it. The rocket from the defenders, though, that's definitely going to come out into play. They need to use that. If they shouldn't start with it, but they should definitely finish with it. If there's any early kills from the defense right now, they need to pop that rocket and try to convert this round. Because right now, if they let Karmine Corp get 11 rounds, that's going to be very scary for them. Yeah. Dog doesn't see anyone. I don't think it saw them.
Red car. Still trying to back this, though. Still walking.
They're going to send it a Prowler and then probably Yoru flash with it to retake this, maybe.
Do the due diligence with this one. Magnum creeping closer.
They should Prowler.
There. I mean, it's clean. Magnum feeling himself now. He's already up out of his chair last round. Hoodie screwed here. May get away with his life, maybe not. I mean, look at the pressure. Look at this side take. It is stunning. This is all encompassing. That's gorgeous as well. I mean, yes, they are on the Sheriffs. It's a much lesser buy, but this is beautiful. This is really heads up Valorant.
Yeah, I think it was pretty decent that they used the Fade ulti there to enter. I thought that it was going to get a little scary if they walk into B main there and don't use a Prowler, and let's say Redgar gets the opening with the Sheriff. That round could be a little bit different. If Redgar is able to hide in the corner, teleport to reposition, things get a little bit scary, but using it just to close out the round, get one step closer to at least securing overtime at the very least. If you can get to, you know, get 11 with this, use a Raise Rocket to get 12 in the next round, then you could be like chilling, you could do more risky plays and do whatever you want. So really good decision making there to actually use the Fade ulti.
Yeah, flawless there. Love that. Big fan. Big fan of that. Yeah, can't get enough me. If you're Giantx, though, this is panic stations. If I'm honest, I wouldn't be surprised I think they still have one timeout here for themselves. And the problem is, I mean, you look at the way the rounds have been strung together. What are you meant to be doing with them at this point? They haven't had much of an opportunity to figure much out. A couple of things have gone wrong, but if I'm honest, I'm putting this on Karmine Corp's side. They've looked stunning the way they've been, you know, approaching the attacking side. Clearly coming in well prepared on split. This looks like something they've been having, you know, working towards to have in that map pool, but again, I don't know what the options are for Giantx now going forward.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. Honestly, it's such a tough position to be in because you're there, it's not your map pick, and you're, I mean, you expect... Wait, I have a question.
Okay.
It's Karmine Corp's map pick.
Yes.
They started defense?
Huh. I'm gonna have a little check on that. Yeah, I'm just
have a little check.
look.
That is something that's like, that's really curious because, like, you know, if you're gonna do that, then you're thinking like,
yeah,
they picked
Giantx
attacker.
chose attack.
Chose attack. So I think with that context, you want to have way more than 5 rounds. You want to have like 7 rounds. You want to.
Yeah, that does change the dynamic, right?
It does. It absolutely does because, like, the split is traditionally defender-sided. So if you're gonna willingly choose attack into the opponent's map pick, you better have a really good game plan, and you better have like a really good idea of how to close out a game on defense. And I haven't seen that yet.
And look at this pace. Look at this. It's from the absolute rip, and another pocket play potentially here. Oh, now it's found Redgar. Hoodie does find Tomasi, who was the one to be maybe the thorn in the side, but Hoodie's holding his ground. And now it's down to an even affair of a 3v3, but not quite sure what's behind the wall, but now they get a little bit of a glimpse of it. Plant's going to come in this time. Magnum with that in control. 3 of the players from Giantx now going to have to kind of convene towards that CT side. Going to invest the ult from Nuki here. This does maybe remove some of the stress of that lurk coming in, because they will get to be a little bit more heads up about it. And it looks like they're just going in with pace. They just want to get in towards this one, close down the gap. Nuki's done well to find Magnum. Still a player on the backside. That's Martin. Can't take anyone down. It's going to be Giantx surviving.
And honestly, at the start of the round there, I'm just looking at Redgar just ulting back in and just like literally forming into a paint shells, just taking out the round immediately, just no chance. It didn't cancel him from coming in there. It just said, you know what, okay, see ya. So,
the difference that round could have had, though, if you saw Tomasi actually be able to... I mean, I think on the other side, Hoodie was literally like blinded, and it just worked out for him. He just held down mouse one and it worked. But it felt very similar to what we kind of saw with Martin taking that TP as well in that first half behind the divide, right? Another little set piece, another little pocket piece that Karmine Corp trying to work out, but it looks like Giantx kind of on the case, a little bit more heads up this time, not falling for the same old tricks. Ult-wise, we're starting to see them sit a little bit more with Giantx, and speaking of which, we're going to see Narrate straight up the gut, straight through middle, and Hoodie's having none of what they're selling now. He has been the man to send them back the last couple of rounds.
Oopsie, you're right. It was Tomasi.
Sometimes I'm right.
Sometimes you're right.
Sometimes. Rarely.
Tomasi didn't have a chance to play the round. Another pause in the round as they take B Heaven control, letting the round simmer a little bit.
Okay, it's getting a little bit messy here. But what are the rotations looking like? What are these react? I mean, they don't have to overreact. You still have Nuki sat with his utility in play. He kind of keep control of A quite nicely, but he does have the support system with Cloud still there, but it puts a lot on the plate of the 2 players on the site. The Paranoia, I think, actually did catch just a second. TP taken, Redgar back at the site now. This puts Fortinho on a platter. You couldn't trade off that. That was a very individual swing, and it looks like just get out of dodge.
Redgar's like, okay, peace.
Site shows, boys. I don't know if I love this. This is a pretty safe plant. I mean, the post plant's uncomfortable because you don't know where that TP was. You can maybe hazard a guess, but still, you do have Shin. Taking this much space towards middle is massive because you know the Nuki's still going to be a lot of timing. Get out of it! That's That's heartbreaking timing. Cloud's going to take it with both hands, though. But Magnum on the case, and the trades come in. It's Tomasi still standing. Omen v Omen. You can have Redgar on one side sitting pretty. TP taken way earlier. They have no idea where he is. Now, no. Didn't get spotted, didn't get seen.
Smoke for the defuse, though.
Should do. Got another to play
No,
with.
no Omen ult.
Oh, the spray! He caught him, but he didn't kill him. 36 on one side, 30 on the other. This is so close. A tap on the spike. He's trying to toy with him, and Redgar!
Does he have it? No.
He should do. I think he does.
Yeah, we just saw the circle come.
Yeah, I think the
late.
little... Oh! That was quite close.
It was getting a little risky.
All good, all good, all intended, all good. 11-9. This is now getting a little bit more tense here. We're starting to see that resurgence. Timeout came in for Giantx. They've worked something out, right? They've found some solution here in these last couple of rounds.
They have found some solution. I like the pace. I like it when both teams right now on their attacks are taking that really fast B, having control, and letting the round develop a little bit. We saw Karmine Corp was actually down, they were at a man disadvantage, and they slowly just like crept down the rope, got into hell, waited for someone to make a mistake. Giantx peaks, give the opportunity for Karmine Corp. That could have gone either direction at the end there. Yeah. It came down to the wire. I think Shin should have waited a few seconds longer. He should have let his teammates take first contact, and then he starts.
Then gone for it, yeah.
He needs to let someone on the map die.
Yeah, give him the chance to play that position as best he can, right? But it feels so unfortunate because that could have been such a swing moment there for them. But 11-9, Giantx starting to claw back into this game now. Sitting much better overall after what was a bit of a drought. No information on the flash.
Giantx and Nookie is afraid of giving up a first blood again, so he's playing in the back of the site here, and Karmine Corp is trying to bait something out. Like, come, peek us, push into us, reclear something, give us an opening into this. Right now, they're just massaging the round, letting something develop.
I'm looking at Narrate, though. Look at this.
He's got a lot of speed.
How the hell is he here? They could just pump the brakes. They could just show a little bit of presence somewhere and try and see if they can get in a great position. But Magnum succeeded, which is, I mean, it just shifts that position from being proactive to maybe just catching rotations. But they're actually still going to go with this one. Yeah, no chance. Cloud had no idea that was open. Nookie, oh! Narrate, this guy, difference maker. Some of his kills have been so impactful, but honestly, that positioning, the slip through is going to be gutting for Giantx. Yeah, Redgar and Fatinho are still alive, but this round is not for them anymore.
Really well played there from Karmine Corp. When Narrate got into CT through B Heaven, I was nervous for a second because Yoru was going up ropes, throwing flashes into A Heaven. What's that going to do? It's going to pull them from B, and they're going to try maybe catch Narrate in the back. But then he's like, wait, you know what? Let's make the noise back towards B. Fade uses ultimate towards B. That pulls the A rotators. Knife out. Everyone knows you run faster with a knife out. So that's able to open the round for Narrate, and then they're able to audible back to A. That is a prime example of just like the 1-3-1, spread default, take the map control, and then just see what you can get. Don't overly commit into anything. Prod a little bit, see what space you can get. You get the space, you make the plan, and you do a little bit of push and pull there. Great round from Karmine Corp there.
Getting to see them play like this on Split, it's one of the things I love about it. It reminds me of I think it's called Nuke or something, another game. It's just causing and punishing any gap that's made by kind of pulling rotations from utility, presence, whatever it is. It's just beautiful to see. And again, being able to slip the net like this, it's just outstanding. Yeah, I mean, the follow-ups, I mean, that's beyond expectation, the fact that he got Nookie as well, but I'm just, incredibly impressed with what we're seeing, and what a remake of this roster already. But this could be the ultimate round, at least in map 1 for now. No ults available here for them just to instantly tip the scales favorably towards them. Not a perfect purchase, though, for Giantx.
Yeah, Giantx is trying to punish the fast mid to B. Heaven play from the Rays with the Breach in a position to stun, Sky in a position to flash, and they're ready to fight that together. But it's not going to come. It's going to go A, and it's going to be Cypher all on his lonesome. They need to have a defensive smoke, but Redgar's not in a position. He's all the way over at B. He needs to be in a position where he can smoke for the Cypher. Otherwise, it's all over.
Well, let's see if it is all over. Nookie, how much can you do? A Bulldog to play with and 5 players coming your way. The support system is not there. He is very much alone. He's trying to stall this one out. Flying his Narrate, though. Already looking for it. They're trying to just back him up, but Nookie still survives. Takes down the first, but the follow-ups are the problems. And more information. I thought he had it. Cloud's got his back, though, and he's got 3! Hoodie stems the bleed. Giantx clutching up to 10 rounds. Barely, but my God, they held on.
Yeah, I thought for sure Giantx was gonna lose that round. Karmine Corp trying to do a little bit of like mid-faking with like the Prowler out, the smoke out, deny some info, maybe put some like question marks, but with Giantx in position, be heaven, ready to run into the vents, Breach able to spill out through CT with that smoke. We saw the Omen smoke deployed right at the exit of screens so that Breach could get through screens into elbow and back up the Cypher on the site, and we didn't see Karmine Corp explosive enough there. We saw the Raze go in, but then there was a cage. There was a cage, and then where's the next teammate? Still at lower A main. They didn't have ramp control, they didn't have heaven control, they weren't able to stop a flood, they weren't in the site to stabilize the site and trade the kills. So not a great execution from Karmine Corp. If they go into that again, they better do it with something like a Yoru ulti, a Raze rocket on hand, maybe an Omen TP so that they can get the info of where the defenders are anchoring from. But without any of those in play that last round, that was looking maybe not the best call. Maybe they should have done something where they felt out the round a little bit. Maybe they took some control over B Heaven or ropes. They would have gone to a trap either way. So I think Giantx actually made a really good call there.
Yeah, it worked out for them. We're going to see Cloud with the ult, especially after that last round. Not surprising that he's been able to get it, and great to see Cloud kind of kicking back into form. One of the unsung heroes. I know he's high on a lot of people's lists to try and get him on the teams throughout this year and last. He's always been someone to be headhunted, but sticking around here, looking to see what they can do going in. We are very close by to Narrate having his ult 2 away. Martine as well, 2 off from his. So a couple of opportunities starting to knock for Karmine Corp, but not quite in this round. So it looks quite simplistic. We're not seeing the split across the map. Yes, we do still see at least Shin on the other side, but everyone really posturing early here.
Yeah, right now I think Giantx is playing, thinking, hey, we just shut them down at A. They're not going to come A again. We can go back into a similar setup. Hey, look, I've got Breach ulti. If they come into us, we can use it. We can do a fast flood. We can stabilize on the round. We could use it as like a counter exec onto middle so we can re-clear this together. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this round develops in the next 10 seconds here.
Yeah, I'm looking at the pendulum swing of rotation, right? Where does Vitinho commit towards? It looks like he's going to commit towards that B site. A 1-3-1 from the attacking side, holding both the extremities straight up the middle. Yes, the flash will confirm there is presence here, so this will be noted. Martin's been good for this, though. Not going to get what he wants, though. No full attention being given. I'm still waiting to see Shin's impact in this round. What's his endgame plan? And it might be because of this.
I'm nervous for Giantx right now. They're giving us so much space and respect. They can't connect on either side. It could be a 5 versus 3 on B or 5 versus 2 on A, and there's no rotation for at least 20 seconds.
They're letting them sweat.
Yeah, but they're sweating themselves.
20 seconds, they got to make their mind up. They got to go for this one now. 2 players back by pillar, back to back near on. It's going to be Nuki, and it is going to be Cloud standing there. There's the ult, and there is the ultimate problem. 10 seconds, they need to get to the site. They need to clear the back of pillar, and they can't. Nuki holding them back, takes the attention, takes down 2, a 3rd, a 4th, make it 5, surely. Switches to the classic, and gets it done with Hoodie in tow. Fantastic hold in the end. But I think you're right, they left it far too long.
Really well played by Giantx. The Breach realizing, hey, they're not coming up. Okay, you can have middle. It's like a minute into the round. Who cares at this point? You have to come into our triangle setup at B. Okay, you guys are chill at B. I'm going to go over at A. I'm going to sit at the back of the site. If they come through middle, up vents into heaven, I got the Breach ulti, baby. I'll sit in the back of the site. You're going to come into the 2 Cypher traps. You're going to come into the cages. You're going to come into the Breach ulti, the Aftershock, the flashes. We swing together, and then the flood's going to be there within a matter of seconds. So Karmine Corp, they had so much space. Maybe we need to see them prod a little bit more, especially when they see an ulti on the board. Maybe they do what Narrate did the previous round, where he was able to get all the way through B Heaven into spawn. Maybe they can try that again if they get that much space again.
I want to see what the plan is now, Martine.
Time to jump.
Just unleashing ult straight away as I wander through. That's going to be the operator noted as well. Yeah, I can hear that going. Oh my god! He went through, but Redgar there in support, ready to back up his boy. But now Tomasi with a trade out, and they're actually closing the gap. Wait, hold on! Karmine Corp! How the hell have they done that? They've just swept the site. They've got the plant. And now you've got Nuki and Cloud, the heroes from the last round, with a 2v4. This is obscene. Still plenty of kit for Cloud, but he's going to have to bide his time, find the right moment to use it. There's still that mid-control there. This allows all the eyes from the players on the side to be focused on CT. Stunning shot from Cloud. This could be the correct follow-up. Magnum going to be isolated here. There it is, confirmed. Tries to make the run. Cloud trying to close down. Magnum gets out with his life, though. Readjust, reposition. A tap on the spike. Nuki wants this to half. He doesn't quite get it, though. That's unfortunate. Magnum on the pickup. This could be it. Now down to one. Nuki, how much can one man do? It's not going to be enough. Karmine Corp. Map 1. It's theirs.
That was a great round.
Yeah, a whole new battleground in front of us now. Again, I caught a little bit of a look at this through, I think, Game Changers at points. Played it a handful of times, but it's a little new to my eyes here, right? Like, I'm quite surprised that in the opening series that we've got coming out, the first look at Giantx, they've opted as this is the map they're making a statement on. This is the one they've come into first and foremostly, hopefully with a plan in mind. But thoughts here? What's caught your eye? Is it the map choice? Is it the composition? Where are you at?
Well, this part of Sunset is just like Split 2.0. This is just B on Split, right? And then it's kind of like where Haven meets Split with like you have that middle, you kind of like want to push back A a little bit, but the Sage pick is interesting with the Breach. They're going to be really explosive here on all the rounds, basically. They have to be.
Okay, well, already site take beginning, and it's free. They're not going to have much trouble with that. It's just. What's the retake going to look like? Yeah, it is kind of like running back to almost map 1. Yeah, exactly that. So very similar scenes in this. Nuki is going to be at the forefront of this, though. Tomasi going to take the contact and take down Fatinho. Blind work from Nuki, but he does get Magnum down, but it's all Karmine Corp until then. Cloud with a terrible surprise. Tomasi and Narrate going to go down and fall for it, but it's Hoodie left in a 1v2. Playing a little further away from this. Still has kit to play with as well, but he takes a glimpse. And Shin going to take that with both hands every day of the week.
It was looking really good for the attack, getting up through middle for free, getting through market, getting that Sage wall down. But it was just so interesting. They lose the duels with Karmine Corp coming through a narrow choke point, through a narrow wall. How does that happen? How are they not able to stabilize that? That is crazy. That's just a testament to how good the Karmine Corp players are playing individually. They're just hitting all of their shots right now. And if Giantx wants to be able to win this game, they need to step up their personal individual game and hit some more shots. It can't be all on Cloud. It can't be on Cloud Nuki doing their like 1-2 combo thing. They need everyone to start contributing and helping stabilize here.
Yeah, time to wake up because, again, if you roll your mind back to the start of the first map, at least it initially looked quite good for Giantx. They had a good beginning on the first go of things, and then obviously we saw the issues start to begin, but that's neither here nor there. This is a bit of a wake-up call because Karmine Corp not going to be letting off the gas at all. They want to carry on as they were before. Now, this time around Giantx, I mean, you're on Classics. This is just a fact-finding mission, maybe get the lay of the land, kind of see what you're up against, see what's out there, and just go through the protocol list, and that's going to give you nothing.
They have no smokes to work with. It's like this, the round's probably going to be lost anyways, but what you want to do, your objective changes. Get the orbs, try to get a couple of kills, maybe take away some weapons, take away some shields. But right now, I mean, looking good for Neri, looking good for Karmine Corp. I don't know what's happening in the camp of Giantx. Why is Redgar walking out there? This is like reminiscent of Nuki just like walking up a ramp. It's like, just do something together and have like a game plan that shifts. We lost Pistol. Oh no. Okay, we purchase up the Sage wall. We have a chance to, like, if we get an opportunity, we can win this round. Why would we just do something where we just throw away our chances right now when we can come back into this round? It's not over yet.
30 seconds left.
I think seeing these frustrations early season, one, you could say, hey, they've got time to fix this sort of stuff. They can, reshape a couple of things, sure. But it's worrying that we're seeing it in the first game in its own stead as well, that these sort of problems aren't something that take a million years to fix. It's almost ethos coming into it. 10 more seconds. Looks like they're going to try and make a go of it, see if they can get that plant down, maybe get themselves building up on, I imagine, Hoodie's out there. Yep, looks like they're going to commit towards that one. So that's in. Any more is a bonus. And I don't think they're going to get much out of it here. I think we're down to just one. And even then, still quite individual, even to the very end.
They got the orb from the spike plant, but only one player took damage from Karmine Corp there. Everyone else, they kept their light shields or their heavy shields, so not a lot of economic damage. Sure, we saw the orb being placed, but that was pre-placed. We need to see, when you're on an eco round, you need to start doing something that, okay, this round's lost, how can we set ourselves up for success in the third round, or the fourth round, or the fifth round? And that means getting closer to your ultis. It means taking away the economy so you can finally break the economy of your opponents. We're not seeing that from Giantx in that round. We're just seeing sloppy play and just like mentally checking out almost. So they need to work this round. They need to grind it out. They need to win it. And we can't see any sloppiness this round.
Okay, well, you heard him. IGL Steel telling them what to do. Let's see if they're up for the fight, though. This is going to be a... I'm worried. It's worrying signs, but it doesn't mean it's anything but over, so it's all good. Fatinho, really the one who's a little bit of a problem, as everyone else did back away a little bit. Left him a touch isolated, but no punish off the back of it. No one from Karmine overextending, looking to maybe follow up from that early contact. And I'm kind of curious to see how they work this map. Again, a lot of pressure shown, a lot of presence shown towards A. Yes, they've pumped the brakes, considered maybe, you know, testing out, is that rotation there? Is there that flank coming in? What do we do now? But a minute on the board, and there's been no attention shown towards B. Already the rotation from Karmine are all here.
It's kind of looking like their starter rounds on split a little bit, taking the space aggressively at the start, pausing, waiting for their abilities to come off cooldown, and then the big hit comes.
I want to see if they stick the landing on this one. Fatinho going to try and bail him out on the first there. Good follow from Nuki. And again, keep in mind, this is full rifles against a little bit of a shaky purchase on the other side because he's getting just still in that bonus situation. Tomasi's still going to find Hoodie. Good timing from Redguard to make sure that stems any problems that could have built from that. But it's Magnum now, and it's Magnum gone. Giantx, 3 standing, plant in place, and they weather the storm.
Yeah, that was really well played by them. So what they do at the start of the round is they take first A lobby control. They make sure, hey, if you're going to be aggressive here, get out of here, because we're coming in and we're going to come swinging. If you're close, we're going to put you in the dirt. And then it pushes them, Karmine into playing a defensive setup on A site. And what that does is, after enough time develops, Giantx, they get their stun back. They get Fade Out. They didn't use it, but they have the abilities. They have the nades, and they funneled Karmine into these very narrow spots. And then, boom, the hit comes, and there's nowhere to go. They just get crunched on.
And I wonder if they're going to try and set this precedent every single time. I want to see how committed both teams are to trying to get that A control early on. You're going to see bodies behind it on both sides, utility both sides around, but a fast rotation. This is different. Early glance towards A, yes, show bodies to it, but look at the pace in which they are eyeing up that B site already. They're going to note this one. Magnum, red alert. You can see Nuki already trying to turn the screws a little bit. If it's Magnum's connect, that's already gone. And now down to the remaining few. Karmine all too ready for this, though. And now it's starting to wane in numbers. You've got Fatinho, Redguard, and Cloud still trying to catch the cross, still trying to punish a little here, and way overextending. Cloud going to get picked up. No plan yet to be had, no safety to be had. CT still very much open. Redguard overwhelmed. There's been no opportunities. Magnum, that was clean.
Anyone call for some boba? Okay, start of the round plan. What Giantx trying to do? Oh, okay, let's show our presence over at A. But then they hear, hey, Raze is satcheled up. Hey, Gecko's done this. Hey, okay, they're playing pretty aggressive on A. They were going to originally like walk back into middle and try to like play the round out slow, wait for that second interval, but they realize, hey, Karmine's close A. We have this opening at B. Let's take this timing. But as they're running over to B through market, actually Karmine is beating them on the rotation. They're getting to Boba, and they're able to fight before Giant is able to get into the site. You gotta be quicker, or you gotta pause and wait for that second interval. Wait for your breach stun to come off cooldown.
Yeah, I'm still waiting to see this kind of like round by round battle over towards A and who's going to fully commit. And this time it does look as though Giantx are going to be trying to back this up. Do they expect the second body? They do. They still check Fatinho. Great to find Martine. Shin tries to hold it down, but Hoodie just completely overwhelms him in the end. It's down to Massey and Magnum, and this one's looking lost. A 1v3 is a lot to ask of Magnum here. A bit of a bloodied battle to begin with, really. Giantx happy to brawl out this time, though.
Yeah, it's not looking good right now for Magnum. Not a situation you want to be in, but if you're able to get the first one...
Oh my god, and the ult is followed. This is a little scary to me. Oh my god, he's got a little angle. That little gap could have been everything. Cloud is going to catch him. No full defuse to come in, but I saw a world where that could have spiraled drastically out of control.
I like how Cloud isn't afraid to use his ultimate in that situation. Most people would be like, hey, like we're gonna win this round, it's 3 versus 1, it ends up being a 2 versus 1. You don't have to use an ulti. It's good. You wanna secure this round, you have breach ulti for the next one, you need to start stringing rounds together. And right now, what we're gonna see is the economy is very brittle right now for Karmine. If Giantx wins this round here, they reset Karmine's economy. They put them on an eco. So staggering the ultis, they're gonna have Raze Rocket on coming up soon online, 1 kill or whatever. They have Rez, he can take a fight early, die, Sage can res him, and then he'll have Rocket to enter with.
Contact. Just on the shoulder there.
Another bait
Coutinho,
setup.
yeah, see if they clear diligently. They don't know this time. Martin wanted a bit more, had another bite at it. Narrate actually doing well to continue the trading back and forth. Going to slow down the hit and allow a little bit of a flex to look towards the other side. Red's going to have to be forced to be invested. That's going to be Hoodie back on his feet now. But they know the plan. They've seen the gameplay here.
They're going to re-clear together. This is a really good reaction. They know the stage res is coming. They come with fall 4.
This is so good. I love that jump across, putting his body on the line. Narrate was willing to sacrifice himself. Oh, Hoodie! He's caught so many with that. 2 punished. And now Redgar going to claim the last. That was unbelievable. What a bailout from Hoodie.
Honestly, that round was such a perfect display of good ability usage there. We saw first, the Sage in the backlines has the res, lets the team fight, lets the round develop, comes in, gets the res off, but we know Karmine Corp identifies it. Hey, Sage has res, they're gonna res here. Let's get ready to fight when it happens. They come in, they do the big fight, the wide swing coming in from the get-go. They win those initial fights, but then the breach ulti, they're stunned in a corner. They can't swing, they can't fight. Aftershock makes them move into the open. Nope, they can't. They get just torn to shreds. Really good utility usage, really good decisions from both teams. It could have gone either way, honestly.
Yeah, that was fantastic to witness. Loving seeing Giantx stabilize in such a manner as well. As you said, the kind of juxtaposition of the team look, the individual look, and now we're going to have to see what they can do up against these Sheriffs. Yeah, some things to keep note of. I want to see if Karmine Corp can be dangerous in these rounds. If they can, maybe score a couple of points for themselves here. But the plant going to come in, wall going to go up, and it looks like Giantx do want to take some control towards that CT side to make sure they take some of that space away. Vitinho having none of what they're selling, maybe a little over-invested, but they want this round. And already, Karmine Corp actually looking to springboard off that. Hold on, Magnum with 2. And the upgrade to the rifle. Now, you can see the investments of the ult coming down. That's going to be Nuki gone. This is now down to a 2v2. Redgar holds the line, desperately controlling it, and does. Keeps this on their side before things got dire.
Yeah, this is the game that keeps on giving right now because I don't know if I like that Raze rocket push into Boba there. Really questionable. You have the sights, 5 versus 5. You can save the ulti. If they come in, they start killing your teammates, maybe. They're about to do the retake, they pop their Raze rocket, the defenders, maybe then you counter rocket. Do you need to start it there? I'm not sure about that. Because as soon as Magnum gets those first 2 with the Sheriff, boom, Martin pops his rocket. He's on the way in. He gets the Sage 1-for-1. And then that could have been really scary. Redgar bails him out though, and we're chilling.
But we've had a couple of those now. We had the Hoodie bailout, now we've had the Redgar bailout. But again, for Karmine Corp, you're looking at rounds around, which we're not getting, right? That's 2 rounds back to back where you say, hey, they've done really nicely in this regard. They've made it, you know, quite dangerous. But speaking of dangerous, mid-walk, straight up the guts. That's going to give away the game. Obviously, the utility there, the wall to follow. Tomasi doesn't get the full glimpse, but he caught a little bit of a pixel moving. They know this is a B hit coming in. Magnum now going to be ready himself, trying to catch that cross. Already, Martin going to catch the heels of Cloud. This is already looking a little bit dangerous. Hoodie trying to lead the way, clear the sight. Oh, beautiful snap back to attention. Magnum gone down. This should be the gates opening, but with all of that noise, all that attention, Karmine Corp have players here, but look at this position. Nuki. Oh, what? How are you turning around on that? I'm baffled if I'm Nuki, but it doesn't matter. The plant's now down, even if they're on both sides. The ults are in, though. You can already see it. The pit put into play. That's going to make it difficult. Martin on the front line going to send away Vitinho. Follow up from the utility. Paint Shell going to come in towards this one. Martin trying to close that gap down. Keep them further away. Keep them at arm's distance. A tap on the spike. And no one biting. And there it is. Oh, great work from Shin. Good trade. And Hoodie. Hoodie, there we go. Hoodie the one. The last man standing, and the one to keep it all secure and safe with the Red Bull clutch.
So is it Hoodie, Redgar, Hoodie? Whose turn is it next?
That's true. I mean, you can pick and choose from this roster, to be fair, but every single time you think Karmine Corp's just on that cusp of something, one of these players is stepping up.
I like the approach from Giantx there, the vision to kind of put that Sage wall deep into CT spawn to stop the rotations. And we saw what that did. It slowed down the rotations. They were worried about someone coming through middle and flanking through top mid. They took their time through market, fighting that Boba, not letting Magnum take them all out again. And then they worked their way into the site. And then they got into the site, they stabilized a little bit, and that Nuki flank is just getting caught. It's like, it's pretty unlucky, but it's another one of those situations where it's like, if you wait, if you are the person that's in the lurk spot, that's in the flank spot, you need to wait for the round to develop. It's not your job to take the next step because people, especially with like the Sage wall being placed at top mid early in the round, they're going to expect something. They're going to expect a wrap around top middle because that was it was an option. It was available. It's something that they have to consider. So you have to wait. And when the defenders start moving in through Boba into sight, when they start moving in from Market into sight, that's your time to strike. You catch them in the back. If you go too early, then they're going to be potentially looking for you or clearing you out. So another situation where, yeah, it's like it's unlucky, but at the same time, it's also maybe a little bit too early.
And my heart breaks a little for Karmine Corp in this because by my eye test alone, they've just hit the timeout. It was their tactical timeout just now, but what are you meant to say? Because yes, there's obviously things you can extrapolate, but a lot of the rounds going away from them, arguably in the last 4, have been down to someone kind of almost over-exceeding expectation, doing exceedingly well, which is fantastic. Obviously for Giantx, you'll take it when you get it, but I mean, for the Karmine Corp side, what are you meant to say in those sort of timeouts? What are you meant to do? Is just like, okay, just don't get 1v4'd, I guess. Like, I don't know what you're meant to do in those scenarios.
I wonder if they have to shift their focus from A towards like middle or B instead, and just change the setup a little bit. Because, oh, well.
I mean, again, this round, apart from maybe Martine, I'm not seeing as much threat here. And yeah, Nuki's not allowing much problem to happen. Great for him as well. Building towards the ult. Happy to be keeping this clean. Yet Martine's still alive. How much danger can one man cause? Not a great deal. So at this point, yeah, it's going to be a formality. So comfortable round in the end. Giantx going to take that cleanly. And again, for Karmine Corp, we've got to see what that timeout was for now coming into the next one.
Yeah, and it's just like with this composition, double controller and the Cypher, you're looking at kind of leverage that and play this like super defensive setup. But right now you're going against the Sage that's going to cut off rotations, the Breach that's going to completely just destroy anybody in sight, Fade comboing with that, with the Prowlers to clear positions out, the Eye to scan the site before they go in, and the Rocket to be really, or the Raze to be really explosive behind all of this utility. So right now, like maybe you shift your focus, like you're always doing these A fights, but we're never really contesting middle or getting these flanks off. These guys, they don't have a Sentinel, they don't have a flank watch. Do something through middle, try to get in the backlines, try to get behind them and disrupt them. They're just playing so scared right now and trying to stay ahead of the fight and go head to head. They don't have the utility to do this though. They can't stop this exec.
Last time around, it was the hoodie showdown here after that res. But whether or not they fully commit to this, I'm looking towards middle as well. You're seeing Redgar kind of taking a bit of a wander, showing some presence, keeping, a little bit of the map under control so they can't go for those instantaneous stacks. They can't really hit an easier rotate this time, so they could have been caught. But for now, you can see them gathering towards the top of middle. I wonder if they're actually going to try and make a play through this. Try and catch Redgar. Well, not going to find much with that.
Omen getting spotted at mid and breaking the camera might have unironically lost in the round. I'm surprised no one actually committed through for that flank, but they're worried about a flank here.
And again, though, look at the counter side of this as well. The plant's going to come down. They're going to have full CT swing control. If they fancy it, they're not going to. They're holding close to it. But 5v5 post-plant, this is miraculous at this point. But we're going to see the utility still in play. The TP taking the cause of paranoia, but it's hoodie to strike. Martine goes down, and 5 still stand for Giantx. You can see Fatinho waiting as well to see if anyone dares to go ahead. Able to catch the cross as well, sit passively on the side. This is individual. This looks messy from Karmine Corp. They do not look like they've got themselves in the right place here. Giantx lapping this one up. Gorgeous round from them. That is another Andalusia flawless coming through, but you couldn't ask for a better round, and it felt like Karmine Corp were just a passenger in that.
Yeah, they look like a a shell of their former selves, a shadow of their former selves. Because right now we're just we see them on defense of Split, and they're moving together so well, so fluid, and here it's just like it feels like they're playing into their agent role a little bit too much, and they need to be able to detach from that and realize, like, yes, I'm Viper, yes, I'm Omen, yes, I'm Cypher, but I'm going to get a little bit down and dirty. And instead of just like sitting back and playing off my camera or my trips, I'm going to start moving up here. Like what they're doing this round, if they do it with guns instead of like pushing right into tiles, if they wait a second, like that's what they need to do. What they're doing here, they do this on a gun round, they're going to be chilling. They should have done it a few rounds ago though. I wonder if it's too late.
It might be. It might be a little too late in the day, but couldn't be going better for them at the moment. Individual fight by individual fight, and Narrate's going to take that every day of the week. Happy enough to connect the shots from the Sheriff, leaving Cloud and Nuki in a world of trouble. And it's almost like you know what you're talking about sometimes, Josh. It upsets me when it works out so well. But you were absolutely on the money. This presence in middle, trying to actually pressure throughout the map, has worked wonderfully. Now, can Nuki and Cloud do something? Potentially, but it's certainly an uphill battle. Plant going to come in. They have recovered weapons, though not many, to be fair. Only one actually on Magnum. I thought they might get a little more.
They're going to get more now because the Sage Wall actually protects them to be able to pick up the guns, stabilize, break the wall, and enter this retake 5 versus 2 together.
Yeah, Narrate now getting the upgrade. Cloud trying to get a little bit naughty with it. Tomasi's having none of that, leaving Nuki in the 1v5. And we've seen some naughtiness already in this game from individuals. I think this one might be a little bit beyond his reach. Just going to close it towards it, see what he can do. Not enough. Tomasi, fantastic in the end, but still, Karmine Corp collectively doing really what was needed earlier.
Yeah, if they had done this a few rounds ago, it would have looked a little bit better. They do it here. They still have a chance to end the half 5-7. So it's not like the biggest deal in the world. They have the Raze Rocket going into this round for the defense. It's going to be interesting. We do see the Sage Res is in play again. We haven't really seen an op yet from either side. I wonder if that is going to be something that either team, like maybe going to the second half, is Giantx going to do that? Is it going to be the Sage? Is it going to be the Raze? But right now, yeah, there's so many options for both teams right now. I think Karmine Corp shouldn't do this play again, this 3-person A thing. They're going to get, I mean, they do have the Rocket.
Maybe that's enough. We'll see.
Maybe.
That's the leveraging factor, isn't it? Is that going to be enough to dissuade the approach or even give them that potential advantage at the start? For now, a similar scene, though, that same battleground drawn over and over, this early utility exchange. But already, it looks like Cloud going to be trying to pressure towards middle. That is a big amount of presence he's showing here. Narrate kind of getting a little curious towards A main as well. This has drawn the attention, and Cloud survives. Martin does follow up eventually and notes there's only one in middle. This now puts it all on the plate of Narrate. He's got to be so ready. Only going to take down one, but it gives away the game, and Shin's there this time. Much better look from Karmine Corp, closing towards the scoreline just a bit here. 5-7, it is recovered, but it's certainly not comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, 5-7 is, it's not comfortable, but that recovery, especially those last 2 rounds, were so necessary for these guys to be able to have a chance closing out this game, closing out the series 2-0 even. But, like, I love the reactions that they had there. So I was like, oh, this A push, is this going to work out? But I think the second time that Giantx goes out middle and breaks that trip, it stimulates this reaction from Karmine Corp. They say, hey, we've lost top middle info. The tripwire's down. They can go into mid, they can go into market, they can flank us. We have to connect. But what they do is they connect from B and they connect from A. They re-clear mid together. And what that did is it meant that Giantx is like, okay, let's go into A now. And they go right into just like the trap setup here. Boom, just lining them up.
Okay, second half commencing. And we don't know the reps of these teams, right? We don't know if Karmine Corp even has this really in the map pool that they'd want to be facing so early, but I mean, they didn't veto it, so there's always the chance to come out. But for Giantx, putting a bit of an early marker on this one.
Still have the wall and the orb not placed from the Viper. It's going to be an explosive hit.
Yeah, looks like Redgar's going to try and slow that down at the very least. Going to be forced away from this now, so has to rescind away and give up a little bit of that early challenge, but Nuki doesn't. Going to find Martin. Fantastic angle from him. Narrate there, falling as well. This is lovely work from Giantx. Couldn't ask for a better start. Redgar, nasty with his work. And it feels like a formality towards Magnum. What more can one man do? Well, he's making a damn good go of it. Yeah, Hoodie might be backing now, going, maybe I'll chill out a little bit.
Just kidding.
Destroyed.
I don't know, I'm you know, Magnum believer. Let's see.
I mean, the spike's down in the middle of B site. Like, these guys can they just need to play together and make sure that Magnum can't isolate any individual duels. Like right here, this is really sketchy for Redgar, because if Magnum gets this kill, 1 versus 2 is a lot more winnable than a 1 versus 3. You can't give that opportunity.
No, I think Redgar might be noticing this. He's slipping back into a more tradable position. Just like, all right, guys, I won't actually throw. So he's going to be chilling. Sitting back a little bit deeper. Magnum very aware of this, though, but similar scenes on the other side. Doesn't get noted initially. Cloud clears up. Perfect start there for Giantx. They'll be happy with that one.
Yeah, they definitely love it. And honestly, that wingman going out with a spike there, getting denied before Dizzy could blind the defender, that was kind of like the end to the round. It's just like, okay, spike's down in the middle of the open, Sage slow comes in, breach done on the slow, people aren't able to move. Like, what are you going to do? You can't even get out of the choke at that point. So, honestly, with a double controller plus Cypher, they should be a little bit more slow, fluid. They don't have the explosiveness. They don't have flashes. They don't, I mean, they have Gecko. That's it.
That's it,
like,
yeah.
You don't have, like, on the other side of it, they have
Right there.
just breach, I guess.
Wow. I mean, Redgar's kind of got a blind.
Yeah, but then
Ish.
so does Shin.
Yeah, okay, well, I'm trying to help you out.
Yeah, I know,
Like,
but
why
I
are you putting
already
yourself
caught
back in the hole?
myself. I already caught myself, though. I belong in the hole if I say that. I've committed to the hole.
Going into this one, though, we are going to be seeing the Sheriffs, the Classics, bits and pieces. It's not a great deal to report for Karmine Corp financially into this round. For Giantx, you want to see clean slate, though. You want to see them trying to keep this tidy, aim towards that double digit as soon as possible, get up towards 10 rounds if they can. But taking their time here, Karmine Corp, not in a particular hurry. Redguard going to be tested.
They see this.
Patience.
They see the Sage Wall. They're letting it kind of just like let it simmer. They know that. Oh, okay. That happened.
Yeah, no worries, and they will have to fall away. Respect a little bit. There's bodies behind this. The Cloud stuck around and Nookie by his side. No problems here. This is looking very clean. This is much more of what Giantx would have wanted to be happening on the first map, but they'll take it here for sure.
BO3 for a reason, and as long as they can bounce back on this map, that's all that really matters, because they could definitely have a chance on Lotus. But I do want to see Karmine Corp trying to play into this composition a little bit better, knowing that they have all this info denial, putting the Viper wall up and down to deny the info at middle. They know that Giantx, they only have the Sage. The Sage is the only person that really has any sort of Sentinel abilities. So that wall going up is the only thing that's going to prevent lurks. When you have Cypher and Viper and Omen on the team, you have 3 potential lurkers you have to take care of. So you need to play very proactive and push around and get info a certain way. And you can punish that if you're Karmine Corp, if you're spread out, if you're looking for those lurk timings, if you're constantly denying the info. So we need to see the slower game plan coming out and not giving away too much like information of what you're doing. I like what they're doing here, slowing things down.
Yeah, I feel like they may have heard you. I feel like the game plan is kind of into effect. We'll see if they can kind of stick the landing once they get to that point, but just kind of taking that default around the map, kind of showing a little bit of something, but not too much. Congregating back around towards the spike, collecting that, and it looks like potentially heading back towards A.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I would have rather them keep more map control before they moved. Okay, they're going back into it. Yeah.
All right.
They're going to do something. They're going to like fake this A, fake the A reclear, push them back, group up towards B, wait for the reaction to happen. Here's the over rotation back into CT spawn for the defenders, and now it's going to be, Redguard.
Nice. Magnum takes down the isolated man. That should be there. The green light, that's the site open and ready for the taking. Plant going to come down. It's a long rotation on this map too. It takes time to get back over here. Fortunately enough, you do still have Nookie near enough by. Yes, you still got Cloud towards the CT side, but the other two are still going to make their way over. Utility with Hoodie is still in play. The post plant though, already going to be on red alert. They know that someone's close enough by. Cloud going to try and set something into motion here. Fatinho getting very close as well. This looks like it's the goer. Fatinho trying to maybe get some pressure, but they need to start working towards this one. Going to force Tomasi out of a comfortable position. Forced to fight. The flash is fantastic. Nookie the one to make the most of it, and now it's a little uncomfortable. The defuse is starting. Hoodie's not going to be getting off that. Gets pried away in the end, leaving Magnum the only one alive, and the defuse in the end goes through Cloud, the last line of defense, and it worked.
So much trust in Cloud there, but for good reason. He's been definitely one of these major key pieces. Both maps getting so many multi-frags and great utility usage. I was actually thinking, wow, this round's actually really well played from Karmine Corp. They did everything they needed to do. They slowly worked the map. They denied the info. They waited out the duration of the Sage wall. If the Sage put the wall up early, they went back into, they kept the control over B main. They went back to A. They did the fake reclear. They stimulated Redguard into pushing into B main. Fell right into the trap. They had the 5 versus 4. They had the site for free. They had the spike plant for free. But then, what do? They all go back into B main.
I was kind of hoping they'd split out a little bit further, take a little bit more of that space. I mean, it's always a chance of someone near enough by, but still, they'd had a decent enough lay of the land. They could have maybe gone for that, I guess, slightly riskier fight, but still, I mean, they'd at least held some of that side control.
I think their Viper Orb was towards A lobby to help with the control of lobby / the reclear. Their Viper wall is towards middle. They're like, what else do they have there? They use the Raze utility and the Gecko utility to get into the site to begin with. Like, what do you have there for the post plant? When you have a comp that doesn't have a lot of post-plant lineups, you have to get in their faces. You have to just brawl out. Cypher doesn't really have anything. He's just gonna brawl out. Viper, you don't have your orb. Your mollies aren't gonna do anything by themselves. You gotta brawl out. So when you're in this composition, try to split up. Where's the late mid lurk into the market flank and getting the backstab? Where's the person that's been inserted? Like, you pushed and faked the A comeback. You did the Omen flash all the way through this line. Why does the Omen not walk through tiles and then get a backstab either through spawn or late through market? You have the opening into B site already. So we need to see them tighten up in those types of situations.
Let's see if it's something they can potentially explore now. Again, it was Karmine Corp's timeout. that's just
There.
passed. So whether or not they can maybe implement something, but again, by that point, you're probably going to imagine that Giantx are going to be on 11 rounds. It does become a very uphill struggle from that point onwards, but you know, for the sake of good practice, for the sake of getting those reps in and kind of showing that capability, why not try it out now? But we wait and see. It looks like for now, the prescription given is a little bit more mid-pressure.
Sage actually keeping the wall here. Gonna use it either reactively or save it for the post plant. They know Sheriffs can't bust down a wall that quick. They don't have any rifles. I'm gonna say, oh, there it is, reactively.
Yep.
You can't come through here. You have to break multiple blocks.
And Cloud, so prepared on the other side here as well. They've just followed them forward straight into his loving embrace. Huge work from him, picking up 3. And again, all the threats navigated. Giantx just manipulating Karmine Core around this map. Nothing was really available to them.
Yeah, they had nothing and they got nothing.
Yeah.
They do have the Gecko ulti online right now. If they choose to use it, it could be really valuable. They know that the Sage is playing around top mid / market area. They know the Omen is on the solo B site hold a lot of the time. They know there's a lot of effort towards this A lobby control. So it's going to be interesting to see if Karmine Core can deny enough info, get enough space and map control, and then utilize that big fish to open up the round.
Toxins
going up.
It can be if you want it to be.
Appreciate that, thank you.
It's better than Peel.
I didn't come up with that. Right? I'm as much of a victim as you are. As it stands, though, it looks like the initial battle for that kind of deeper A main control, A lobby control is comfortably, is proactively sitting, it was until then, in the hands of Giantx. You can already see the Magnum trying to keep a little bit more presence noted over here. You can see them trying to throw this around, but it stands patient beginning, yeah.
That was good. The race sees nothing. Omen reacts, puts the smoke down on B. Still, letting the round develop Karmine Core. I need to see them inserting players more aggressively. They have the Cypher trap. What's he going to do? He's going to wait for someone to try, like, raise to push through and flank. They're going into a 4-man B main hit. They don't have the comp for this. Is this going to work? They have the fish. It might.
Well, that has to be a real big fish here for Narrate. Let's see what he can get done with this one. Going to try and at least close down already. Basically denied. No even follow-up. Redgar gets away scot-free. This is perfect for him.
And the flood with the fade ulti.
Oh,
no.
Dear. This is looking like an absolute tragedy. Cloud already going to find Magnum. That removes that one backline threat potentially. Now the swing.
Oh.
Yeah, this is done. Put a bow on it. Wrap this up. This is all but over. Tomasi tries to make a last stand, but this is Giantx with a grip on this game.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think Karmine Core is... I don't know if they're overthinking things or they just didn't have enough, like, good enough game plan or specifically what it is. But, like, I don't hate the idea of it. The following the Thrash in, trying to get in there, but no one's peeking with it. And Redgar's able to peek out, destroy the Thrash, have the smoke up on main, throw the Omen blind, and have his teammates all fled. They know no one's coming through market because that Sage wall's up. Karmine Core didn't take enough map control. They don't know about the Sage wall. They haven't broken it. They haven't made them worry about top mid. They haven't made them worry about A. Raze has full control over A. You need to do something to deny info or take map control so that you can actually split or audible. You can't do these full execs. You don't have the comp for it.
Yeah, it looks uncomfortable for Karmine Core here. Maybe this map just not quite in the wheelhouse yet. Whereas for Giantx, it is looking fantastic.
I like this.
And Magnum.
I love this.
Yeah, how's he gone this far? Nookie's the one to find Tomasi, but again, how the hell has this man gone here? And he takes
Line
his
him up.
time.
Line him up.
He should have a second here too. Yeah, absolutely. Executioner coming towards the site now, trying to facilitate that cross as well. There is still a problem. There is still a man here, and it is Cloud. Does this round have its silver lining? Not this time for him. Narrate going to clear him out as well. That's lovely work from Karmine Core. Finally exploring the map a little bit here. Right up the guts through Giantx, leaving Nookie and Redgar with, well, an unpalatable end of a round. What they're going to do with this one. I mean, you might as well give it a go. Swing, miss, Narrate there, happy. And now Redgar, well, it's all but done here.
Yeah. Up into guts through mid, Cypher on the flank.
You liked that one, did you?
Yeah, loved it. So the Viper dying there, Tomasi, unironically setting the Cypher up Magnum for that big flank. They thought the threat was dealt with. Hey, Viper through her own wall. Okay, cool.
Done.
Took care of that. And then I guess the cerebralness of Magnum to realize, like, hey, I lined 2 people up. there's got to be a third person here, right? There's got to be someone else defending the other part. We saw the Sage peel back from market to pick up this top mid. Nobody came from A to pick it up, so they're really heavy focused on A main right now. There's got to be a third person here, and they snuffed them out.
Again, this feels like a moment of reprise from probably the bigger issue is that that's not a repeatable round really for Magnum. Maybe you could learn something from it. Maybe they could learn a little bit of something of potentially threatening, you know, pressuring the back lines a little bit more, getting those lurks into play. But it's not something that's gonna be the instant salve, you know what I mean? It's not something that's instantly gonna help out. So it's still a problem, bigger picture. This isn't the big solution. But Giantx, I mean, they've got timeouts to use. Seems like they want to go for it here. Have, what, 2 ults to play with, I mean, it's a res and a TP, so kind of scrap that. But still, I don't think it's panic stations, but I guess why not have a chat while you have the time?
So with the res, they could definitely opt to do something aggressive at a different part of the map other than A, because what they could do is they could pick the player back up. They can go for an aggressive fight, brawl it out a little bit, res them, reset. And that might be the plan here, because Karmine Corp just exposed top middle. They've shown that this is a play that they have. They're not afraid to do it. It's, you know, as long as they keep the threat there, they don't even have to do it, but it's going to cause Giantx to think, hey, this is a possibility. We have to keep this in mind. We have to play a certain way if we see this wall, if we see this tempo, if we see this start around. So it's going to be interesting to see if some things change up here. We do see the Sage on A this round. She's, wait, no, sorry, that's off-mitted. Sorry. When things are this small, you know, you can't really tell what's going on.
Surprised that's an issue for you. TP early. And well, I said it's hard to repeat this, but that's going to certainly help out matters for a whole couple of seconds.
Walk into B instantly.
Yeah. I mean, they've got the site, right? Like this, you've sacrificed one for that. Maybe that's all you're going to get. But I look at that post-plant. Remember, those post-plant positions were a real problem for them before. They weren't able to brawl out on the site particularly. They were struggling in that regard. Now we have to see if they can maybe do better with even less numbers. It was a 5v5 last time, now a 4v5. A couple of ults, though, some big ults, some controlling ults. 1 to Massey's, 2 Martins is certainly something to keep in mind. Information for Redgar, but maybe not a great deal of time to utilize it here. Cloud already starting to lean towards the site. Stunner of a shot there, though. Takes away Redgar. Magnum on the follow-up this time. Scrapping it out here. Not letting go of the site at all. Nuki, Fatinho, and Hoodie's options are dwindling. And I think they've realized that as they fall away. Looks like a recovered round here for Karmine Corp after what I didn't think was repeatable. But Shin, how they're doing the work.
I think what allowed them to do this was Giantx actually took a gamble there. Why did they take a gamble? They're up 12-6 in this round, right? Or in this situation.
Sure.
They don't, like, they have 6 rounds to play with where they just need one of these instances to work. So if Karmine Corp did this fast A thing, if they did the fast mid thing to flank A, they get shut down, boom, Giantx closes out the game, right? So what happens here? Oh, they didn't come into our setup, unlucky. We thought that they were gonna try to go for this A split thing again, didn't happen. It's not the end of the world. They still have 5 more map points to deal with. They still have the Sage res. I don't know why they're not leveraging that a little bit more.
Throw into the mix.
Yeah, try to do something aggressive with it, but they're probably going to put the deep wall on B main and try to do another... Oh!
Okay.
Hello.
Well, there's proactivity to say the least.
The Sage wall and slow to stall the B hit so that they have time to rotate back in.
Yeah, you're already seeing it. Fatinho getting on his running shoes, wants to get over there quick, just in case. Pressure starts to build, and they're going to try and get the information. Notes a player on the site and going to follow up with the ult. Trying to find something, did not connect. It's a problem. Gets away with his life. Nuki still breathing, still standing. That means the res is still in pocket. Fatinho falls, so does Hoodie. Redgar making a stand and a half. 3 kills near on back-to-back, leaving it in an even affair. But with the plant now down, it tilts slightly back towards Karmine Corp's side. But can they hold this post-plant?
Fade uses I, clears out market, has a prowler, clears the site.
I'm just scared seeing him in these positions, though. I just get a little scared.
He's got the Thrash, the Viper mollies.
Should be good, right?
Molly. They have enough to just stagger. Yeah. Here's the first.
Redgar. Wait, Redgar slipped the net.
He saw it.
That
was so tight.
I've got heart palpitations at that one. There was a moment where it got a little too dicey, but there's still life in the Karmine Corp side, right? This is 3 in a row. Now, hey, they had a lot of rounds to play with, right? Giantx, you said it, they're not in a massive hurry, but you don't want to get into, one, a poor economic situation from this. You don't want to be down on your ults. They're slowly building a couple up here, but if you're Giantx, when do you worry? Because normally it's double digits for me. If I see KC hit 10, I get a little sweaty.
Probably when it gets to 12-10, you should think about really leveraging something. The fact they haven't used Sage ulti yet, kind of scary. Not gonna lie.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
They still haven't. They're just doing their standard setup. The Omen B, the Sage Market, and 3A. They're not changing anything up here. They're, you know, they know they can't really flank. There's the trap wires. The Raze gets the deep line on A, though. And they're just trying to leverage this.
This is the battle that could be pretty defining if they do decide to press that corner. There's the paranoia. Similar scenes, we've seen it before. Coutinho knows his reactions here. Early exchange of utility near on a chess game, but the commitment on the swing, didn't expect that. Coutinho goes around, finds Shin, which is a problem. They lose out on that element, but the sight on the other side again. It's all a bit of a bait and a ruse, and it's worked once more, and even better than ever. They've got the plant down, they've got full site control here, and those rotations are still a mile away. They got a late mid lurk as well coming in. We've got a little bit of layering to this one. Nuki still going to be doing damage, though. That's Magnum gone. I was looking at Martin to see if he was deciding to maybe pressure that, but now with that wall in play, probably denies a little bit of that option. Recongregating around towards CT, though. Giantx are being halted. They can't quite progress, and there's the ult being considered. This is huge, but it forces the fight, and Karmine are winning it! All right. I'm getting a little nervous, Josh. A little bit, tiny little bit nervous. How's the money?
Interesting.
Still good?
No, I think they do one light buy and then they buy out the next couple rounds. But honestly, like I thought, okay, 12-6, they're not afraid to do these gambles. Cool, they're doing like this 2 top mid, 3 on A. They're not afraid to just like take these gambles, close it out. They lose a couple rounds and they go into the standard setup, and they're giving so much space. Their Omen is the only person between the enemy and B, and he's pulling out his hands to throw his smoke across the map to A lobby control. He stops watching B. Sage wasn't watching Market. Like, there's so many gaps right now because they don't have a Sentinel, and they're playing this like super spread 1-1-1-3 setup. They need to like do something more together where they actually try to control the round.
Hello?
What is
happening? Is he going to get timed himself, though? Did they hear something?
Yeah.
They must have had a step.
The camera must have...
Yeah,
right?
Something's been seen. Redgar is very...
He had to have been seen on the camera or something.
Yeah, surely. Yeah, I think the camera's just around the corner,
So
so
like,
definitely seen.
Was someone going to cover him if the peak came from Redgar? I'm not sure.
Not particularly certain on this. Again, this is around with sheriffs, so this is more than likely going to be 10 to 12, and as at least to my mind, that is when I do hit the panic button slightly. But for now, if you're looking for Cloud and Coutinho, silver linings for them, you are looking towards building that ult. If they can maybe get another step closer here, potentially, that would be ideal. Not going to have an opportunity for Coutinho, really, to build much more than this is given, but as it stands, Cloud's got his ready to go for when is required. This should take quite a monumental climb, but Cloud does have a rifle as well. Does he get the chance to use it? No, he absolutely doesn't. Looking out. 1v3. All right, that's a shot. You're going to make him sweat here, Nuki. Make him work for their dinner. They got to get a move on. Nuki is going to make this one painful, give himself a chance. Oh, oh! There is something about this man that is always so dangerous. The time is running low. Magnum's patience is being tested, and he's done perfectly well in the end. Got a little bit scary there, but again, they survived.
They survived to fight another day. 2 more rounds they have to come back. They do have the thrash back on narrate. It's going to be interesting to see if they do this 4-man B hit again, or if they're going to use it. They know that Giantx, they get the Raze on the aggressive A line. If they set Raze up on this A line and they're playing alone, and you do the thrash and you run up behind it, are you able to catch that? There's the... Oh, I saw the pings on the map. They know about the Omen flash. They're talking about this Omen flash. They're actually changing their setup for the first time right now. They're reading, hey, the last time they had the thrash, they went B with it. Let's do this like aggressive B player, peak or something like that.
Yeah, looking for that early fight, that early... This is just kind of setting expectation, going through the protocol list. No one there to fight out A this time, though. That is surely going to be at least not a red alert, but it's going to be curious that no one is there to challenge this. We've seen the similar protocol list from Giantx when it comes to their kind of control towards A. Normally a bit of fade utility comes in, a little bit of a scrap from Coutinho. None of that this time, so it's different. This is going to be surely catching them out, and Nuki...
Why? Your team's all the way through B. They have all the info here. Your teammates have info on mid. They broke the Sage wall. You know that they're towards A. They have to be there. There's no other place they could be.
Yeah, this is scary times now, and all of that information free-flowing. Narrate wants to kind of turn those screws as well, get that pressure building towards CT, secure that space. Smoke goes up as well. That's going to be deep down towards that CT side to facilitate this plant safely. And if you're Karmine Core, you're starting to smile a little bit here. You're starting to feel out this game because you just got yourself a plant safe on the site. You got good control. No lurk's going to be coming in, but that's fine. They can kind of dig their heels in a little bit because they've got utility. But there's a counter flood. Redguard just walks out, takes down one, but a quick trade out. Coutinho falls, and he's stuck on the side. He can't do a thing about it. Martin can't punish, but he knows where they are. This is the issue. They are running out of time, and they're running out of bodies. Redguard is doing everything this man possibly can. Hoodie in unison. There's still a chance. Redguard, he's not stopping the defuse. Redguard! Are you kidding me?
Wow, that was actually so much trust again in
something on that. Almost petered out at the end, but they got across the line, right? They got there. Karmine Core on map 1 looked fantastic on split, but still a close affair, right? We've had 2 close maps.
Yeah.
Now, map 3, I have no idea what to expect between these two. It was left in the veto, clearly. They were happy enough to go there, but which team's actually comfortable here? I couldn't tell you for love and money, but already Coutinho finds the first. Quick trade out. So Tomasi not letting that go.
And as we all know, it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish here. So this third map going to be very important to get a good start into the season.
I think already, just at eye test alone, both these teams have kind of proven quite nicely for us a couple of problems, or, you know, a couple of things that they could fix down the line, but also the potential's been off the charts. I mean, map 1, I think a lot of the Karmine Core fans will be happy with what they saw there. Giantx fans will be happy with map 2, you know, maybe a couple of issues, but still, overall, pretty good performance.
Free sight here. And I like what we were talking about Narrate earlier. Obviously, like, I'm stansying for Narrate a little bit here. I think his flexibility, it's not just like playing agents, it's like playing different agents well.
Yeah.
So, you're gonna see this 4 versus 4 retake. The Sheriff on the Killjoy, love that personally.
All right, I'm looking to see what springboards them forward. Looks like just the paranoia was sent through, and they're going to go for the challenge already. A little bit of a trade out on the side. Magnum and Narrate still going to be on this one. Shin tries to get the little diffuse started. Dips away for a second. And Coutinho found it is clean from Karmine Core.
Yeah, that was kind of interesting, that round. Just from the get-go, just like, once that initial fight happened and it came down to this 4 versus 4, it was clear to me that there was like, okay, what's next? Neither team really knew exactly what was next. We saw Giantx, they're like, okay, we already have 2 people walking towards C, there's a big fight happening at B, maybe there's an opening that we can take it's 2-on-1. They get into the site, they get the plant, but it didn't look like Karmine Core had like a really good plan behind it, but then they come in for the retake. They have 1 coming late through waterfall area, 3 through spawn, and they come in and they just win their duels. They're so good at just doing the basic stuff well that this is what's kind of like carrying them right now.
See if it continues. Now, obviously, going to propel themselves forward in this round. Bulldogs coming out. There's still some, you know, an SMG in the play, but beyond that, pretty comfortable on this buy. On the other side, Sheriffs and a Ghost. So you're looking at 5 standing, if possible, working themselves cleanly into this game. It's still the standard we hold across the board here. I want to see these rounds kept as diligently dealt with as possible, and just get a good read, I guess, if you're Giantx. Try and get, you know, a good mental picture of what you're coming up against here, so you can kind of test out, and this is a brutal side to try and break into. Yeah, Tomasi already going to find one. See the utility being worked, but this is good. This is fact-finding for the bigger buy rounds, but still, Karmine Core have bodies here. They've got a boatload of utility, a boatload of bodies, and yeah, Redguard's gone a little bit closer, which is nice, but again, this isn't the round to be looking at, you know, the bigger picture. You want to see them trying to get those little bits of information. Testing out the timing, 40 seconds now. Clock going to start becoming a factor soon.
Just classics, except for the Sheriff on the board. They're baiting this. Oh, this is so smart, actually. It didn't work out, but it was smart.
The theory.
The theory behind
there.
it. They opened the door. They made all this pressure. They made this noise towards A. Hey, like, we're over here. Cut noise completely. Don't peek. Don't jiggle. Don't make any steps at all. And now Karmine Core is like, well, we've already committed to this rotate. Like, what are we going to do here? We can't just rotate back to B or C. Let's just push in together. They push in. If there was, like, you know, that was like, they're probably not going to win the round, but at least they can get a kill or 2. Maybe they get a kill. They pick up a Spectre or a Bulldog or a Stinger, and then they're able to use that to get another kill. Then they get a spike plant. You know, things kind of spiral.
There. Yeah.
But just starting with that one thing, that was their opening. It almost happened. The vision was there.
Hey, let's see if that continues as we get into the real meat of things, right? This is still a bit of a bonus round, though. We do have Bulldogs out, so 4 Bulldogs is still the SMG in play. So this is just, you tilt this towards Giantx, but oh my god, getting proactive, and that's dangerous. Hoodie going to be found near on first, and look at the time left. It's still 1:20 on the board. They've got so much to try and navigate now, and they've lost all that impact. Funneling straight towards that C site, looking like they want to try and just brawl this out, but they have no real way to get in there cleanly. They have very little left with this. Cloud, yes, can facilitate something, but this is uncomfy.
Very different approach than we saw in the last map, where they had a very similar composition. They had the Cypher instead of the Killjoy, but they were very static in their setups. They were doing like the 2B, 3A stuff. They weren't getting a little down and dirty. And here, the Killjoy and the Viper pushing up A main through the attacker Viper wall, maybe, or is it doesn't matter. They pushed up and cleared A main. They pushed him back and they got the opening kill. We didn't see that from Karmine Corp at all, really, except for one round on defense when they were on eco last game.
And look at the time this has cost them, right? They had to reclear all this space because they had no one obviously watching behind, so they had to reclear this. They're down to 20 seconds or so now. By the time they're getting towards the site, you already just had, who was it on the other side? Narrate, putting down the utility to clear out, make sure no one's over by mound. They're forced in towards B here. There are very few options. Fortunately, Redgar is hitting. Takes away Shin, but that plant is still precarious, still dangerous, and they're swinging the smoke. They've denied it, and that is everything. That is huge work from Karmine Corp.
Yeah, Giantx just had no options there. They have to go back and reclear A, but when they go A, they're trying to open the door. Hey, fake A, go B. But what is that actually doing? It's pulling all of the players from C to where? Towards B, because that's the first stop on the way back towards A is to stop at B. So we see the flood coming in. They're coming through Heaven. They're coming through Waterfall. They're just sprinting in. Once they hear that spike is starting to get planted, they're like, this is our opportunity. They either have to stick the spike and they're a man down, or they get off of it and we just do this brawl anyways. Really good reactions from Karmine Corp right now. A completely different defense than we saw last map.
Yeah, I think we're starting to see the comfort of where their map pool's starting to lie. Obviously, this is the beauty of early season, right? You have no idea what the map was really going to look like from these teams. This looks a little bit better for Karmine Corp. Obviously, Sunset was Giantx's choice, but regardless, they do look quite nice here for now. We'll see if that continues as Giantx are going to be having to, suffer through this round, really. Yes, Sheriff's a little bit of utility here and there, but very little to report.
Oh,
Redgar still trying to be dangerous, trying to take some space. Fatinho taking heads as well. They're not going down without a fight. And the UI's not going down with the round either. But you know what, that's fine, we'll catch up. There it is. Nookie and Hoodie, the last two alive, but maybe they could get a little bit of damage as well. That could be good. These are rifles, these are expensive pieces for the puzzle for Karmine Corp. And options and opportunities later on, potentially for Giantx, maybe for Nookie there. A lockdown on the horizon could be lovely. Magnum not gonna make any mess of that. Catching Nookie very comfortably. And it should be Hoodie as a formality now with 38 seconds. This should be very difficult.
Yeah, this is gonna be almost impossible. First kill on Magnum could be a thing, but the high-low setup with Narrate.
Shouldn't happen, right?
Wait, he's still alive. I thought for sure that guy was a gunner. He's down to 7 health. I thought for sure one bullet was gonna do it with the Sheriff. But yeah, I mean, all you can really hope for from Hoodie here is maybe a kill, maybe take away some
10 seconds left.
money.
Something.
Get more than just one ulti orb. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that round just gone. And I need to see something more from Giantx here. So when we talk about like the game plans and the compositions here, they don't really have too many things to be explosive with. They don't have like stuns from Breach. They don't have like scans. They have the dog from Sky, but realistically, when they're on the double controller here on attack, they need to take a little bit more map control and do more fakes, do things with info denial, try to break out the Killjoy utility a little bit earlier. But Karmine Corp being very dynamic on their setups here. They're not even playing anyone C right now. They're doing an aggressive B play right now. This is really cool. And we're going to see all these coming in play soon too.
Yeah, a bit of variety, trying to take that map space. Still showing presence here. Magnum, I mean, putting, shots down range and hoping for connection, but nothing really there. And they've already peeled away from that B attempt of maybe trying to walk someone out. I'm surprised they didn't commit a bit further towards it. Tomasi, fantastic pick up towards Hoodie. Oh, come off it. A follow-up too just seems almost unfair. And Giantx are left in tatters. They've got very little space. They're stuck in no man's land. They don't know much about the back lines, really. They just have to try to face forward or walk back into the unknown. They are in danger, and the damage off the tap of the orb. You can see the reaction. Tomasi wanted to punish Fatinho, trying to
Oh, that might be a double.
That could be, but I don't think it's going to actually connect as well as he'd hoped. It's not. And now they're starting to struggle here, starting to clutch at straws, trying to find any options available, but Karmine Corp already starting to surround this. They aren't putting everything out here. It looks like the swing comes in, it's a 1-for-1, but that's Spike, and that's another issue. Fatinho flies in, though. That's fantastic. Fatinho still with a chance. 37 seconds, Spike back into play. He's got his ult and a 1v2. Difficult. Spot out already. I'm pretty sure he just saw Shin there.
30 seconds left.
Toying with this. He's got to know both players nearby. How much can he do? Paranoia is sent down. 20 seconds now, time ticking. Paint Shell there to try and find some safety. Pops the ult, he's getting paranoid, he's getting nervous, he's getting worried. He wants to plant, but he won't have the time to get away from this. Not at all. Shin played it very well there. If he'd left it a second later, that could have been dangerous.
And Karmine Corp is just steamrolling right now. They have so much confidence. You can see it in all the individual decisions that they're making. You can see it how they're calling the starter round plan with the 3 people B, leaving C completely wide open. They don't care. Now they have the Viper ulti unlocked. They have the Killjoy ulti for the retakes on whichever side. We do see the attacker Killjoy ulti as well, but are they going to use it here? Are they going to buy? They could get Vandals and Light Shields. They can't really do much more than that. They have to take attack. They have to think about, what are we going to do here? We're down 5-0. We're not really playing into our confidence at all. We're getting flood on by Karmine Corp. We don't have options. We can't cancel our plan once we see that like things are looking a little bit bad. We're just bleeding out here. What can we do to stabilize? How can we like make this a little bit easier for us? We haven't seen them work towards C at all, really.
No.
We've only seen them go on into B when it's like these late round situations where they're not able to go here or there. So they need to just like pull something else out of their strat book. They have to have more depth than this, right?
You'd hope so. I mean, they kind of took that look towards that C side initially when, again, though, you look at what happened, the fact that Karmine Corp then pushed 2 players up from A and managed to completely disrupt the entire plan, and that got scrapped. And from that point onwards, it feels like Karmine Corp had such of the, I don't even say like upper hand, but that's a comfortable read. They've just been really not put out of place by Giantx at all here when it comes to at least the early rounds, it feels like. We didn't even see the end goal of potentially that 3-man stack in B when we saw them kind of like pushing out. There's a lot of unknown with Karmine Corp that's been working, so I'm a bit worried the Giantx don't even see the full picture yet. They're still trying to catch up on what's in front of them. And it does look like the Light Shield, Vandals or Rifles just coming out here. Judge in play as well. That's for Hoodie. So they are starting to really feel the pinch here and suffer through this. I mean, the lockdown's there for Nuki. Maybe this is the chance. Maybe this is the round they can pull something. Oh, no. No. Look at the patience. Look at the patience. Look at this man. Oh, my word. Oh, my word. The turn. He got 2. He got Redgar as well. This is devastating. This round's already in tatters. By not checking that box, things have just gone nuclear.
You know, you talk about Redgar and you talk about how much experience he has and what he's bringing to the table as an IGL here, but we're just seeing, we're out of options. What do we do? Let's just go 5-man B from the start of the round. We have Omen ulti. Why are we not trying to like fake like we're taking control of an area, denying info, using the Omen ulti to pull rotations, to scout out what's happening in the site? They're not even clearing their corners. They don't even spam the box at the start of the round. They're not doing the fundamentals right. It's like the whole team has a mental cloud blocking them from doing just like the simple things right now, and Karmine Corp is doing the simple things flawlessly.
I'm a little bit stunned, especially after a timeout that you just had kick in. You'd think they'd come in with the best approach possible. They'd maybe get their heads straight a little bit here. Yeah, again 3 still standing. Money's gonna be really swelling for the Karmine Corp side. They can start getting a little bit more buffer behind them, and they felt no bigger threat. Yeah, a couple of ults are still here, but they're gonna be down on Sheriffs on a very weak purchase. I'm worried about this. This follow-up. What? How did he get Redgar then? Thank you for the slow-mo, because this just seems... Okay. I watched it 2 times and did...
What you see is what you get.
Yeah, apparently. But I'm worried for Giantx, because this is where you'd think with Pipson being coach, with Redgar as an IGL, they should be able to give you these solutions, and they're not finding it yet. Now we're starting to see Karmine Corp flex a little, right? We've got a little bit more of an aggressive lean here from Shin. Paranoia have to be invested to force him away, so he's going to be taking away some of that critical utility they're going to be dwindling on here. Already Fatinho trying to find a fight early on, but no one really falling for this.
Yeah, you see the same pack, the Fade, the Raze, the Omen, fighting together this time at C, leaving a little bit of exposure towards A. Viper getting a little bit interested in what's happening over at A? Hoodie's out saying, hey guys, there's nothing here. Maybe we can come back. Killjoy's got a couple of mollies to stall, but that's about it. They're leveraging the Raze Rocket, the Killjoy ulti for this retake. They know that there's no real counterplay from the attackers. If the attackers decide to go A, what are they going to do? Viper, already getting into the site, is going to reactively place this Viper ulti here if needed, but getting spammed through the smoke is just like,
that's a spot
man,
as well.
it's salt on the wounds right now.
Yeah, this is insult to injury sort of level. They're going to start struggling with this one because they've just lost out on Hoodie, which is rough. And again, Magnum got the follow-up. He even noted the second player there. That's not going to be a surprise. They already have bodies towards B. Well, they've already got information let towards B, so they don't have any real threat here yet. Karmine Corp feeling not pushed out of position, not feeling worried about it. And you're looking at the time. We're down to 20 seconds on the board. So this is when you're running low. Again, there's the utility in play. They have a complete control of this map. Redgar slipping a little deeper is about the only thing that they got on their side. And it doesn't even matter. The spike's finally gone down, but you've got 3 players and a prayer, basically. And what do? Now you've got the lockdown coming in against you. What are you meant to do with this?
And you're 2 men down. You can't even trade, really. You do.
Oh
no! You hate to see that. It's just like, everything's over, and then it's just like, it's even more over at that point. It's like, what do you even do? Do you laugh it off? Do you just get sad? Like, what? Oh, man. It's just like, Karmine Corp has plot armor at this point, type of thing.
Literally. I mean, it's the revenge arc, right? Look at that smile. Look at these guys. The last season, I think everyone realized being a Karmine Corp fan was rough. It was a really rough season for them. I think we saw glimmers of hope throughout it, but I mean, they gutted it from the inside out, right? They completely rebuilt this roster. They got arguably one of the very well-respected coaches in the game behind this team. They went to market and they got themselves a squad. Already seeing this is fantastic for them. 7-0, this is a big confidence booster against one of the probably more established rosters still in this league that hasn't rebuilt massively. This is a huge boon for them. This would be, you know, as said, a prize to put on the mantelpiece, but we go back in, buy back in place. Couple of ults in play here for Giantx. They have an opportunity to do something with this, but Shin once again rinse and repeat, and this time he draws blood from it.
Yeah, man. So right now, your Giantx, you have to be thinking, what are we going to do to get ourselves our first round on the board? And they have 3 ultis to work with. They have the cabbages from the sky. They could use the Omen ulti as part of a fake with the sky ulti once they get the information. They can hunt down the Viper with the sky cabbages, and the ulti doesn't matter because when he just walks in and just takes him out.
That's just reasonable things, isn't it, really? Reasonable things. Plant will be coming down. This is the best opportunity we've had in a moment here. They can get themselves a little bit more situated, right? The post-plant can be a little bit more comfortable, but we're going to start seeing those ults being lent upon. Nuki almost just trying to hinder, slow down, keep them back. You can see the temptation.
Yeah,
Cloud's really chomping at that bit. He's like, but what if I get the timing right? I can get 3. Guys, think about what I could do here. And the timing could be right. Depends on Shin. He does catch Shin. That opens up the floodgates to the potential of the lurk. But now look towards the side. Tino is still waiting patiently and actually denies the ult, doing any sort of damage, leaving it all on Magnum in a 1v3. There we go. Response made for Giantx, but it was a long time coming.
It's just crazy to see that the first round that they get on the board, they have Omen ulti, they have Sky ulti, and they have Viper ulti at their disposal. And what do? They lose first blood instantly, and then they go and walk into a Viper ulti 1 versus 1 to open up the round there. That is just like, this is not normal, right?
That's not what you want to bank on, right? Like, that's not, you sit back and you watch us back as a team, you're like, maybe this isn't how we should have started that, you know? But you take it when you get them. But you know, when you look bigger picture, there's a reason Giantx have just used both of their timeouts here, right?
Yeah.
Like there is a reason that round is not a repeatable round that you're going to be looking back on going, awesome guys, do it again. You're looking at, okay, what did we learn and what can we implement going forward to try and salvage this half?
Yeah, well, if I'm Hoodie, I'm definitely telling, hey, Redgar, I'm walking out A for free every round. This is so free. You guys can go towards C. There's a lot of, you know, you're going to have to fight into 3 people. Shin's doing this play where he's getting out behind Mound, teleporting away after he gets that value. But if we're able to get into C area, get that rocket on the race, leave people there. I'm going to walk out A. You can send 2 more people back to me, and then you guys can do a fake onto C with the Raze rocket, see what value you can get, and then we have just the Killjoy or just the Viper on A. We can easily go in 2, 3 versus 1, get that kill, and then Hoodie can post-plant, pop the Viper ulti, stabilize on the site. Is that the play they're going to do? There was a timeout. Is that what they talk about? I hope they have an actual plan with these ults rather than just winging it again, like they have for the last 7 rounds, basically, except for last.
Well, here we go. Let's see if they are looking to maybe employ you as potentially a coach, IGL, you know, get you in there. As it stands, patient beginnings. It is similar scenes, though. You're absolutely on the money. Hoodie, once again, no real challenge over by Rob. Yes, we've seen one challenge early on, which did go Casey's favor, but again, not going to get anything for it. Looks like they're going to be leaning through towards B, and there's players here. There's a disaster around this corner. This could be a horror show for Giantx if they continue along this path, and they're going to go for it. Patino going to lead the way. They are just behind these smokes, and the flash is just a disaster again. Look at this. Magnum gets a freebie onto Patino. They now know the plan. The ult's going to come in, though. That could give them a bit of stability here.
They might end up closing this round with this Viper ulti really well placed, disabling basically all of the waterfall entrance here. The Flood having to come through Heaven, and not even a great amount of space there. Redgar in position to get a great backstab. Oh, but the Viper
no! Down. He takes down Hoodie of all the people, and then Nary next man in. This is so punishing. Redgar and Nuki, though, still in this one, still having an opportunity to do some damage. Look at this timing. It's exceptional. Tomasi isn't stopping, though, and neither is Martine. This is just horrific for Giantx. That is heartbreak, but what a way to play it back through for Karmine Corp.
The thing is, like, I don't even know if Giantx would have deserved that round in that situation.
Your
right?
expression at the start of it was just horrific.
But like we see a Hoodie going out A, and then he's gonna come back to B, group with a team. I see the vision getting into B, get that flank, get the Viper ulti down, we're gonna win. But when you go into B, you can't just go into B and just expect that to be it. You need to get into the extremities. You have to take control over Blue or Heaven or Waterfall. You need control of space to deny the amount of places they can flood from. Yeah, sure, they have Redgar on the flank, but they had no info C. They didn't even have info B. They could have walked into a 3-man trap again. You know, Martine could be there behind the box again. Did they even clear it?
And now, a little bit of I want to see the difference here. Again, we do have this similar look to an extent, at least coming out from Karmine Corp. They've set this precedent that they will put players towards Mound. This time it is a different player, though. Just the same. Shin before, going to be picking up that mantle, rotating off the back, because look at this. They have so much of the map for free. They know this. They can instantly put bodies towards B, towards A. They can just leave him to his own devices. Does Fatinho connect? That could be critical, and it is. Fantastic. That is sight ready for the taking, but now what is that? Threads the needle so perfectly to find Redgar and Fatinho and basically make this one back looking viable. Back down to a 3v3. The plant will come in uncontested as it stands, as Hoodie basically using himself as the bodyguard, right? I'll put my life on the line for this. You better get that plant down because he's overwhelmed. Martine so quick to swing around that corner. Back down to the 2v2 now. Nari's still standing, though. There's still a problem until then. Cloud holding onto the line. TP gets taken. Shin falls to Cloud, and Giantx just stabilizing.
And Giantx is realizing that A is their opening into this game. That's where the rounds are being won right now. Off the back of Hoodie walking out, saying, hey, it's clear. Hey, I think the Viper's playing in tree every round. The Killjoy lurk into B from Nuki, realizing, hey, the turret's in blue room right now. The Killjoy's probably towards the A part of the map. They know it's just those two to deal with. The Rocket coming in with the Omen blind into tree room. The Rocket taking out the Viper. Killjoy falling. And it's like, everything's looking good for you. Can you rely on that again? Are you going to combo these ultis with the Sky Cabbages plus the Omen ulti? We haven't really seen, we saw the Cabbages, but we haven't really seen the Omen ulti yet.
He got the Rocket! Come on! Come on! That just seems...
They're so shook. They're so shook because they've lost Redgar there. Shin's been winning that duel a lot. So they're just like giving so much respect.
I mean, but look at the rotation, right? They've got so much faith in Shin. They're leaving him solo here. Yeah, he's playing a little bit further ahead, so he can kind of... I guess there's still time for them to get to the site, but he's felt that pressure. He's decided wisely to back away, give up a little bit of that space. It's the first time we've seen them really check on this, to pressure this point well. Shin sends down the paranoia, dips away further. Still going to make them work for their dinner. All this utility to just clear him. Nuki backhands him, but flying through the air. Oh my god! There's no way he's doing this. 3 kills. Giantx can't catch a break. This one, just put a fork in it, it's done. It's overdone, if anything. Nuki and Hoodie, you're gonna need to dig your heels in. Show me what you're made of here.
Stick a fork in me, Jerry, I'm cooked. Oh my goodness, it's just like... Just anybody that's played Raze for Karmine Corp today has had such huge impact with the abilities.
Okay, first step.
First step.
Hoodie, no more steps. Okay, this...
Yeah. I'm almost speechless at this point because it's like, it doesn't matter what Giantx is doing right now. You could tell from the way that they're playing these rounds out that they don't have depth to their game plan.
Nope.
They don't have confidence in their game plan, and they don't have confidence in what's happening right now. Hopefully, like going to the second half, they have way more comfort on their defense side. But right now, it looks like they're just drawing blanks. They don't know what to do. They have all this space at A, but they don't use it. They have like a congestion at C, but they can't get an early kill or early stabilization there. And then they just say, well, nothing's working, let's just go B. But they're going to go into B, and we're going to see all of Karmine Corp there again.
I genuinely worry about the bigger picture map pool-wise for Giantx then, because what we saw, yes, Sunset looked okay. I wouldn't say it was perfect. They got pushed, but yeah, okay. I'll bank that for another time. For now, you can already see this. Yeah, this is starting to look really worrying. No one actually punishing that as much as it could have been punished. They managed to keep themselves alive. But also then remember, they've had no real glimpses of the rest of this map. They have no information on C, on A, if anyone's pushing up, pressuring. This is going to cost them time on the replay. You can see it now. There is no pace to this.
Maybe they can use this half.
Maybe. Maybe a treat for us.
Use it for info. Use it as a part of a fake. Use it for something. Right now, it feels like they're just going through the same motions, the same steps. But those steps haven't worked for them. Why do they think it's going to work now? Of all times. Maybe fake TP in. The Killjoy has not played C a single time. He's had setup on A and B every single round this game. But
and look at the lack of biting on this fake, right? Look how deep you're seeing Karmine Corp sit, right? There is that, deep play to them. Yeah. But again, they are not leaving B. They are not leaving A. They've not fallen for what Redgar is trying to sell by any means. And the ult, if anything, I don't know how many that would have fought potentially.
I
think so. And that actually might help sell
Oh
this.
my god, it gets all the way into C. They know, and the flood is coming here, but Redgar's space
the only
is
one.
The only thing that's going to be
helpful.
Oh, wait, no, Hoodie's flank timing could also be really good.
Oh, this is all going to be ridiculous, isn't it? Nookie could try to do some damage. Karmine Corp, though, in for the scrap, in for the brawl. Redgar comes back around. Now the time. Cloud trying to get that plant down, trying to do something with this one. The last one stand. He can't do it anymore. Wait. How?
The thing finally happened that they were chasing each other from basically a lobby all the way through, and the last basically second of the round, that flank comes in. That is absolutely absurd. They had no chance.
There was no time.
But that's what they're thinking. He's like, Tomasi's like, oh, there's no time. I'm not gonna peek. So he stops, and because he stops, Hoodie's able to actually flank him.
That's
crazy. That is absurd. Wow. Like honestly, it's just like. Honestly, they can have that round at that point.
Yeah, you're gonna let them have that one?
Yeah, just let them have it. It's just like, okay, we're 9-3. You know what? 10-2.
Yeah,
let him have it. You know what? If he's gonna do this around the world flank like this, honestly, he probably just deserves it at this point. Oh man, yeah, he ran away because there was no time.
Yeah, that's crazy. Okay, because you could argue this was looking 10-2 sort of deal going on here, but. Live to fighting another day. 9-3, curse or not, it doesn't really matter. What we've seen so far is that Giantx were hitting a brick wall. They were not able to figure it out on their feet. And Karmine Corp looked sharp. They looked very solid in it. I don't think we really got to see them tested particularly, so I'm kind of interested to see how they look when it's their turn to paint the picture on the attacking side, right? When it's their turn to test things out, how do they fare? We already have a little bit of a different look here, kind of taking their time over towards that C side of the map. It could be a challenge on Redgar potentially, but again, they're spreading, they're not putting all their eggs in one basket. They've still got that pressure over towards A. They're seeing what space they can take.
The funny thing is, I see like the same kind of idea behind Giantx's defense. Viper towards A with the alarm bot from the Killjoy, the turret as well, and then the 3-pack onto the C site. We see the defense from Giantx, but they couldn't break it. When they played against basically the same thing, swap out Sky for Fade. That's what Karmine Corp was doing, but we're gonna see this A play.
Okay, it's on Hoodie to try and hold him back. Oh! That's just unfair! Barely past the watershed, and look what's happening. 5v4 now. Cloud, Redgar, Nookie, and Fatino still trying to hold this together. But look at Narrate's position. Oh, what is going on with these players? Karmine Corp are hitting everything that's breathing. The only strike back coming from Cloud, but okay, that's lovely follow-up, taking another step forward. This is only a one-man advantage now to their side, and maybe Cloud, I mean, they're taking no more chances. Yeah, it's a 3-man swing, and Redgar's positioning. I don't know if he's got anything more in him. He can smoke them off, but there's 3 players. That's 3 bodies you can commit. The paint shell almost being the additional.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, nice.
That's gonna work.
NT. No, hey, look, it might work once, and it doesn't.
It doesn't work here.
That is double digits now found for Karmine Corp, and they looked good in doing it again. I I'm worrying about the map pool for Giantx here because this is not looking like it's part of it.
Yeah, it's definitely not looking good. When you look at these two teams playing this map and how they're playing this map, the only real difference in their composition right now is Fade for Sky. Everything else is pretty much the same. But the difference in just the understanding of why they're running the agents, why the agents in certain positions, it's just the understanding from Karmine Corp and the confidence behind the plays and the comfort on the agents is just, it eclipses what Giantx looks like on the exact same thing, basically.
Well, we get to see Outlaws out to play. They do very well for themselves. Cloud down to 4 HP, Neuron off the rip. So wait and see how this goes. Again, I think Karmine Corp just taking their time here. There's no real hurry to things, showing a little bit of presence, but kind of backfilled again, though. You're still going to see the kind of similar scenes, right? Redguard getting posted over towards that C mound, instantly going to alleviate the rotations, but if they double dip, there's a problem. Then you only have Redguard holding half of the map, essentially. And that's now worst fear scenario. He's got to make sure he's scarce and doesn't get picked up in the meantime. But again, as long as Karmine Corp don't leave this too late, you know, down to the 20-second marker when things can get, you know, a little bit precarious, I'm fine with this. Ray is just
indecisive right now. I think there was a good idea behind Giantx's plan with the A defense, having Omen just get baited out at C, but the hit's going to come into A. It's going to be a 5 versus 4.
Yeah, bodies are here. Bodies are on the line. Can they make this a brawl? Can they make this a fight? Can they make this dangerous? It feels like Martin might be feeling something here. I don't think he likes what's on the other side. He can smell something on the other side of that wall. And Tomasi has found Fatinho. That's not the telling part. This is now going to be on Redguard to try and hold back so many players trying to come through his way. And he just can't withstand the pressure. Too many players coming on through. This might be 5 alive here for them. Giantx maybe thought they had, you know, something in the hand there as they were coming towards that A side, but this quick rotation, this a big adjustment towards B. It's worked very well for Karmine Corp.
Yeah, I like the idea from Giantx at the start of the round. Omen shows himself at C. Here comes the reclear from the Fade. Oh, there's someone at C right now. A's probably open. They go towards A. They get completely stalled out by the Viper wall. There's the 4-player flood. I feel like Giantx, maybe they shouldn't even put the wall up. They had the stack there, and they probably, Karmine Corp probably thought, hey, GX has 3 people towards C. We can go into A site for free. That Viper wall comes up, they're like, wait, we can't go here.
Weird, yeah.
The wall finally drops 15 seconds later. Oh, wow, there's a lot of people here. We're going B now. I feel like that wall might have actually, unironically, made them lose the round.
Yeah, really hindered them. So, I do think this might be spiraling out of control here. If maybe we saw the start for Giantx kind of hitting that they came into this year on the second half even picking up everything they needed, right? Like everything's starting to look good for them. It's not been that, and that's the bigger problem for me, that they are struggling to string this together here.
And one of the things to note this round is we still have Magnum with the Outlaw, and we have 4 players with light shields. So it's going to be very interesting here. The Killjoy about to have really good potential impact here with this Outlaw. We could see, oh my god.
Tomasi's got it too.
And they might have this fight here at C right off the rip as well with this. Instantly peeking, getting under this one way with it because
they kind of off.
Don't even have to hit the head.
Yeah, this is huge. This is huge. Here we go. Does he actually get what he wants? Redguard denies it.
The one way.
Okay, that's fine. Tomasi's still got one. It's you know, there's still a chance. He is nowhere near here, by the way. Tomasi's gone walkabouts. He's so deep on A. I was like, which Viper is that? Why is that? But, I mean, massive progress. And that's going to cause them scrambling from Giantx. They're not sure what the hell's going on. They've just seen a huge brawl over towards C. But players snuck up here.
And this, putting the wall up after taking out the alarm bot is threatening the CT spawn push. This guy's coming to re-clear, find out what's going on. Huge rotation out of C to come in and defend this A site. I wonder, is Karmine Corp going to end up going B, or are they going to run all the way through and go C with this? They have no one to connect from C lobby, so maybe they just, let the round simmer a little bit.
They've got the opportunity to do it as well, right? It's like they've got every chance to do this because these rotations, these positions, these kind of contact points have come through from...
Good pre-game.
Yeah, that's stunning. Okay, Nookie denies. No rotation, no B site. You stay right there. That's it. That's all you get given. Hoodie going to add insult to injury, but this one is looking kind of wrapped up here. Tomasi not getting what he wanted. Position, duly noted. Lovely. That's the Nookie you want to be seeing, that kind of... I guess a rock, the backbone of a team. We haven't seen that sort of level yet. I mean, it's very early days, but still, I'd love to see that starting to come through here for Giantx.
And when you're down a man like that for Karmine Corp, I feel like you have all that space towards A. You can do so much more with it. So I wonder if that's one of those rounds they go back and review. Could they have, in that 4 versus 5, walked into CT? Could they have taken that fight there? Could they have rotated a player back into B main or into C lobby so that they could do some sort of C split by going through B? Could they have kind of rocked the boat a little bit, break the door, go towards B, make it seem like it's going to be a B ending, and then go back to A? Could they have done these things? They probably had the opportunity to, but I feel like they just like let that round slip. Yeah, it was their bonus. Yeah, they had a couple of outlaws, but like trying to force that one way at C, that was a little bit questionable. But then 4 versus 5, 40 seconds left, you still have round time to work with.
Yeah.
Let the round develop a little bit more. You don't have to like make this round end. So Giantx getting another victory in the round there, a little bit of more space to breathe, and maybe we could see something happen. We didn't get to see a whole lot of things. They didn't have depth on their attack side. Maybe they have depth on their defense, though. We don't know. We have to see this first.
Okay, diving back in. Always nice to hear Stevie. If you're an EMEA fan, you'll remember Stevie from obviously last season as well. Nice guy.
I met him.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was
nice.
He was nice, yeah. Yeah.
Dresses really well as well. It just like puts all of us to shame. It's atrocious. But again, digress here, and we go back into this one. So let's see if there's been a little bit of a correction brought into effect. Maybe they just want to really keep this fine-tuned. Coach for Karmine Corp. That was a Karmine Corp timeout, keep in mind, after that one round that slipped away. So this is quite interesting to see them pumping the brakes so early on. And then look at this reaction. I mean, it's almost instantaneous. They are just straight in towards the site as best they can. Nookie, considering, does he stick around? Does he commit? Does he back? He's absolutely going to try and filter a little further away, but he loses life for it. And look at this. Karmine Corp just shredding them. And these kind of in-between fights, uncertain if they wanted to commit or not, has cost them their lives. Yes, Cloud succeeds. But they're in a 2v4, there's so much more to do here. And Karmine Corp didn't even get towards getting the spike down. This was just halfway through towards the site. And really, this is so precarious. These positions, they're so uncomfortable.
Yeah, I think Giantx is cooked and they know it too. There's not really much that they could do here. Waiting for a potential flank, they have no info as what's happening. They're waiting for Karmine Corp to potentially make a mistake, overextend, offer up an isolated duel. Yep,
okay.
Here it is.
There
Here's an opening.
But can Hoodie keep his life? Can anything happen for him? No. And Cloud couldn't trade it. So again, this is when the numbers come into play. But I like this timing from Cloud. I like what he's trying to do here. A chance given. He couldn't quite grab it in time. But I liked the attempt. Wasn't to be. Karmine Corp really happy to let that round sit for a little while, simmer in that position.
And that's where the Sky nerf or change is really going to come into play. He was out of flashes. Had enough time elapsed there. Maybe he has another flash. Maybe he's able to get a kill and use the flash to assist his teammate to bail him out. Maybe he uses it on that initial fight to make it a 1 versus 2. Like there's things that you could have done with Old Sky that here, not really an option.
Speaking of not many options, Giantx really running low. No ults to depend on, no spiral round to bank in here, but 12 on the other side. Karmine Corp in a whole new lease of life here with this roster, looking fantastic. Redgar looks dead. I don't know how he's still standing. And actually, Cloud going to take down one. But look at this. Cloud is the backline, the backbone, and the only one trying to do anything here. Leaving it all down to Narrate in a 1v3. Cloud's just... Oh,
man.
God. This guy's
just
sharp,
into waterfall.
too.
It's a 3-on-1.
I don't know what's happening. I don't think that was a good choice. And part of me feels this is very doable, because you look at the clock, they've still got a minute, right? Like, do they just stay together? Do they stay as the duo, right, on the other side, which I imagine they should do. But it's like, it leaves so much space, so much of the map.
They should stay close enough together that the Killjoy is able to keep her abilities online, and then they can hear the A door open. So if there's going to be any play here, then they have the heads up. They know what's happening, but the Killjoy is too far away.
Why didn't they readjust? It's an extra man almost, right? That's literally almost like a, 2.5, right?
Yeah, all you have to do is be close enough to A to keep the abilities online.
And they get a warning system, like whenever he gets somewhat close, this is a real blunder coming out. Narrate now, opportunity beckoning. This is looking done, and that is devastating. If that's how you go down, Hoodie just powering forward. It's done and it's over. A clutch from Narrate, but what a damn good game from Karmine Corp.
That was really well played by Karmine Corp. And even there, that last round,